Well, a warm welcome to Headingley for Yorkshire versus Leicestershire in the men's T20 Blast. Leicestershire looking to make it a double over Yorkshire this season, having won the home fixture between these sides, but the White Rose seeking to continue off from Friday's epic when Matthew Revis saw them to victory against Durham with just a ball to spare. Let's take a look at the pitch. Richard Robinson's team won the award for one-day pitches in the country last season. You always know it's going to be a good deck here at Headingley. There is just a little bit of live grass as I give it a bit of a tickle. It's about 5mm, but it's nothing to be too worried about. It is though a used pitch, so as we come down on a good length, there is the odd bit here that particularly a spinner might enjoy working with. It's the same track that was used for the doubleheader on Friday, where all four teams got at least 197. There was almost 800 runs on it. Slightly shorter hit out towards the east stand as well, slightly longer hit towards the western terrace. We know historically here that an average first innings winning score here at Headingley in the last 5 seasons hovers at just under 200. I think we could have something even higher today, because the other factor is the wind. The wind is blowing from my back towards that shorter east stand, so a lot of this game is going to be about who can handle the slightly different boundary dimensions and the wind better, because particularly hitting in that direction, look out, there's going to be plenty of sixes. Intriguing to see what happens at the toss. Around 2/3 of the games here in the last 5 seasons have been won by the team that have batted first. We'll have full news from that coin toss in around 15 minutes or so.
This is Yorkshire.
Built on pride.
Forged through generations.
Now, a new season begins.
Driven by ambition.
We play to compete.
We play to win.
Driven by those who stand with us.
This is Yorkshire.
We don't stand still.
We move forward.
Together.
That's flicked up, and that's a 6, and that will be his 50. And his 50 has come up off just.
Put an end to this. Well, he goes short and he gets rifled. That's 4 more back-to-back boundaries to kickstart this final over of the power play. And, well, that one was authoritatively struck by Alex Lees. Well, that one is aerial again, but there's no protection out there for Hassan Ali. We'll take a couple of bounces out towards the western terrace. And Alex Lees for this next ball, as he absolutely dispatches that into the Howard stand for 6. Another enormous and lusty blow.
You're in big trouble.
Well, same with this man. I think he split the gap there. Indeed, he has. Powerfully struck by Graham Clark. And such is the nature of Headingley. Bangs it in short. Clark, well, he goes after it. And that will be the end of Graham Clark. Yorkshire do get the breakthrough they so desperately desired. And it comes courtesy of Fahim Ashraf. That one slightly off the edge. Whistles beyond the dive of the fielder. And that will be a boundary to round out the 8th. And right on cue. That is precisely where David Bedingham deposits it. Through the covers. It's short. That has gone up in the air. This should be an easy catch for Johnny Bairstow. That will signal the ends of Alex Lees' onslaughts. Love his action. Oh, that one has been rifled. Gun barrel straight. That's for Ben McKinney. Oh, he's got him. Jaffa Chauhan gets Bedingham attempting to pull. And he has had his stumps disturbed.
Blazing a trail. They get more runs here. They're going to get 4 perfectly into the gap from Robinson on the bounce. Where do the other 7 come from? As McKinney thrashes this into the east stand, and it's into the top tier of it as well. That is an enormous hit, one of the biggest that we've seen all evening against Derbyshire at Chesterfield. Gets across, sweeps, and, well, it's palmed almost over the bar, goalkeeper style, really. It would have been a heroic boundary save, to be perfectly honest. Down the ground, and this is 6. Well, as predicted, McKinney would go again. It wasn't literally a free hit, of course, but at this stage, with the scoreboard set as it is, doubt he'll bowl out now, maybe, given that he's gone off. As the first ball of Chauhan's new over is smited towards the western terrace. Beautifully struck by McKinney, who is really into a groove here. He's a little social. He's the one you want to be doing the cooking. Almost as good a chef as he is a leg spinner. And he might have got a wicket here. He has. McKinney steps away, and not for the first time tonight, uses it to access that very straight boundary. This is totally mistimed. Hassan Ali going back. Takes the catch. Been a bit circumspect, this pair, this over. He does try and go after it. And he's gone.
Behind square. But he has got protection there. It goes straight to Moeen Ali at fine leg. Yorkshire have got the momentum. Oh, is that one a little bit loose by Hassan Ali, drifting down the leg side and just help. Oh, that one whistles off the edge. That's going for 4. Yorkshire. Slightly. This could be a third. There's a real chase on here for Fahim Ashraf. And loads up, doesn't get the desired connection. This will be a catching opportunity. He does take pace off. It's whacked and out. Really smart bowling that from Hassan Ali. Potts had to go for it. It's the final delivery of the innings. And Durham will round out their 20 overs on a total of 205 for 9. Shielding their eyes while having a cap and sunglasses on. As well as Parkinson zips that one through, and Johnny Bairstow cracks it through extra cover. The ball gains so much momentum. Parkinson again zips in the arm ball. It's gone down the leg side, and these will be 4 more runs for Johnny Bairstow and for Yorkshire. The home Potts bowls here to Lythe, and Lythe has picked that one up superbly. That is a 6 that sails divinely into the east stand. Oh, that one has gone up in the air, and it's got plenty of legs on it as well. That is 6. That has been leathered by Johnny Bairstow.
Hitting it the furthest as he comes in again, and that's an outside edge, and that's rolling away down to the boundary edge for 4. So a little bit fortuitous.
Lythe looks to cut that one and cuts it away effortlessly. Won't be rain though, it'll be Aldridge first up, and that one played so deftly, so beautifully. And that won't be a dot ball either. That will be 4 and rain. We spoke about him before. Bowling from the Howard stand end takes the pace off, but that has been dispatched.
Wow. That went up to the second tier of the Howard stand and just came down.
Lythe there, just going for the trigger. Has Rain caught that? Yes, he has. That is a sensational caught and bowled by Ben Rain. It kept ever so low, just sticks the right hand out. All the pace taken off there, but Bairstow just caresses that one through extra cover. That one has been cracked through the covers again by Johnny Bairstow, who just has a little amble, a trot down.
Certainly a good competitive chase for Yorkshire. Bairstow facing up and pulls away for 6. Well, he backed away initially because he wanted to go inside out through the offside. Potts followed him.
And that's he's driven superbly through mid-wicket.
Luxton steps away and pulls round the corner. Desperate dive. And it makes room, Luxton, and chops on. Massive breakthrough, massive celebration from Nathan Souter, who knows just how important that is. And Luxton, who put together a succession of decent scores recently in the Blast. It's a thing of pride, isn't it? You get your autographs, your selfies. You can get on the outfield as a flag bearer, or you can get on the big screen as Bairstow drives down the ground, and Bairstow will go to 50. 50 off 26 balls for Johnny Bairstow.
Very few.
And just as I say that, Bairstow pummels one out through wide mid-wicket. Fine. Flicked away. And it is runs for Bairstow. Bairstow just guiding it. It's been one of the themes of the Blast this season for Bairstow. He's got the...
Bairstow gives himself some room and he's been caught. Yep. Well, Moeen, he does take the aerial option and he has clubbed that for 6. An almighty whack of the bat to round out the 12th over. And Ali dances down the track, meets that so sweetly. And that will be 4. Aldridge around the wicket here too. Ali, you could see that from a mile away. He swung and swung it brilliantly into the east stand for 6. I think he can. Yes, he can. That's the biggest of the lot. He's almost cleared the big screen. And Moeen Ali is dishing out punishing deliveries here. 6, 6, and another 6. One of which has come off the bat of Sam Whiteman, the other 18 from this man, Moeen Ali, who winds up again. And this could go for 6 more. I think that's crept over. Yeah. It has crept over. 4 6s in the over.
Instead of Aldridge, it's Potts, but the result isn't much different. Moeen Ali finds the fence once more. It's a 5th 6 from the last 7 balls he's faced. And Moeen launches once more. My goodness me, is he in 5th gear? That has almost gone literally out of the ground. It's hit the very back of the east stand. Not panicking in a big run chase. Comes down the track, turns that into a full toss, but he's holed out. He's picked out the sweeper. Moeen Ali looking to score yet another maximum has gone. It's an enormous breakthrough for Durham. Revis has launched this. That's the 6 that Yorkshire needed. Yorkshire's first boundary in 17 balls. That pulls the momentum back towards the White Rose. 19 to get from 9. Slightly off the outside edge. I don't think it's quite where Revis wanted it to go. I don't. Well, that will help. He's got that wide of mid-off for 4. Can Revis finish it off this time? After the tight Chesterfield. So time for the all-important coin toss here at Headingley. Big game in the North Group. Yorkshire second coming into it and seeking revenge for having lost to Leicestershire in the reverse fixture. Got the 2 skippers to my right, Ben Green and Johnny Bairstow, and your Yorkshire skipper, Johnny Bairstow. We'll give the coin a spin. Heads is the call from Ben Green, and it's a tails. Johnny, the coins come down in your favour. What are you going to do and why?
We'll have a bat. Yeah, we'll bat. Look, it's obviously a decent wicket. We just think that that's probably a nice option.
And an unchanged team from Friday night. Pretty simple selection.
Yep, unchanged team. The lads did well, so it's just a case of trying to keep that consistency and back it up today on Sunday.
And do you think you'll get a bit of a different situation with the pitch today? It's the same track as Friday night. Might bring the spinners in a little bit more?
There's only been 40 overs of cricket on it, so obviously the ladies played before that, but it shouldn't really change too much. Generally, at Headingley, it's a pretty good wicket and it stays that way.
And what's your message to the supporters? The Western Terrace was properly rocking when Rev was getting going in that run chase at the end.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it goes a long way when you're out in the middle. You really hear that support and the crowd getting behind the lads in those tricky situations. It's happened a couple of times this year here, and it really does mean a lot.
Thanks so much, Johnny.
Thanks.
So Ben, what would you have preferred to do had the coin come down in your preference?
Yeah, I think we'd have batted as well. I think the stats suggest that batting first at Headingley is probably preferable, and with it being a used wicket, that's probably what we would have done.
And 3 changes for you, which is quite a few. Davian Hull in the bowling, Eskenazi back from a personal problem. What's the thinking behind those alterations?
You know, I think those guys are obviously incredibly talented, and they would probably make it into our best team. So I think them being back fit and also back from other reasons is obviously strengthens our team.
And obviously from a table point of view, you almost certainly need 4 wins from 4. In some ways, does that simplify it for you? Not too much to think about? You're kind of playing knockout cricket?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's a great and exciting opportunity, these last 4 games for us, and who knows, we can get on a run and see what happens.
Thanks so much, Ben. Good luck.
Cheers.
So the news from the toss here is that Yorkshire have won it, and they've decided they're going to have a bat.
Vertu, official partner. Vertu, official partner of Yorkshire County Cricket Club.
Tell us who's going to hit Yorkshire's first six. All entries will be registered into a draw to win a signed Joe Root shirt at the end of the Vitality Blast campaign.
A warm welcome to Headingley from up here in the commentary box. Now, of course, the coin toss has been completed. Yorkshire have won it and chosen to bat. The stats say bat here, and I'm delighted to say alongside me is Yorkshire's future opening batter, once upon a time in the future, but of course has also played for the White Rose in the Metrobank One Day Cup back in 2024. Last time he was with us, he's in the moon boot, but you've managed to lose that now. Good afternoon to Noah Kelly.
Good afternoon, thank you for having me. Yeah, I've managed to lose the boot, but I'm back walking again, so it feels a bit more normal now.
Yeah, it does feel like it's not quite the walking wounded at Yorkshire, but there's you, George Hill, Warts has joined the club recently.
It's become fashionable. A few of us all wanted to stick together.
Well, let's take a check on the teams. I mentioned this is a crucial game in the North Group. Yorkshire, of course, one of the 4 teams to never win the Blast, but also you think of Leicestershire and their history with the Blast, winners in 2004, 2006, 2011, but they haven't been in a finals day in 14 years. So there's 2 sides that are looking to get themselves a little bit of glory. But we take a check on the White Rose team first. It's unchanged from Friday night, so it's Adam Live, Johnny Bairstow, Will Luxton, Moeen Ali, Sam Whiteman, Matthew Revis, Fahim Ashraf, AJ Tai, Hassan Ali, Dan Moriarty and Jaffa Trahan. So it is Dom Best and Ben Cliff who miss out from the matchday squad. Johnny Bairstow said to me at the toss, a relatively simple selection though, carrying on from that winning momentum of the Durham game. Would you broadly agree?
Yeah, I think so. The pitch obviously looked pretty belter on Fridays, having them 3 spin options of Moeen, Moriarty and Jaffa gives a lot of variety. And I think, in terms of the batting, to knock off a score like that and to get so close against Derbyshire as well, you can see why it's gone unchanged.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned spin because actually we saw Sauter took 1 for 23 off 4 in the run chase for Durham. Jaffa Trahan took 3 for 30 from his 4. I said to Johnny Bairstow, do you think the fact the pitch is even more used now, spin might come into it even more? He almost bristled at the suggestion in the sense of his response was a version of, well, yeah, but it's still pretty flat. And he is right, of course, with Headingley. David Milan once actually told me this is the 4th highest T20 scoring ground in the world. Let's take a look at the Leicestershire side. Leicestershire have made 3 changes from suffering a defeat back on the 28th of June in their last game, which has left them needing 4 wins from 4 to qualify. Rishi Patel, who will be leaving the club at the end of the season. Nick Kelly, Ben Cox, Ashton Turner, dangerous overseas Aussie. Kelly, of course, is a Kiwi overseas. Liam Travaskis, Ben Green, the skipper. Alex Green, Stephen Eskenazi, who's back after taking time away from the game due to a personal matter. Josh Davey, and surely the trump card of this Leicestershire lineup, Rehan Ahmed. So those 3 changes for the Foxes see Josh Davey comes in, Josh Hull comes in, who of course quite a lot of people will remember for making his England Test debut at the Oval in September 2024, and Eskenazi is back. They of course beat Yorkshire in the reverse fixture by 12 runs on Sunday the 7th of June. What jumps out at you about that team?
Yeah, again they've brought in Josh Hull, tall left arm, swings it up top. You see a lot of that in T20 cricket now, that different variety, change of action, and obviously Ryan's a big one. Wasn't in the squad initially, but has been brought up and been relieved of his England duties for now, so he's obviously a massive in for Leicester, who, as you say, need 4 from 4, so obviously been put into bowl, but I think it doesn't really matter at Headingley too much. The pitch is going to stay pretty consistent. It may spin a little bit more second half, but in terms of 20 overs, it's not going to make a massive difference.
Yeah, a couple of analysts have said to me about Headingley that it's not really that the pitch deteriorates in any way. It's the fact that if you can get 200 plus, and a few batters have said this to me too, it's the scoreboard pressure of knowing that you need more than 10s rather than the pitch. I mean, this pitch is now 80 overs old because it's had that women's and men's games there on the Friday, but we have got a shorter hit, as I alluded to in the pitch report, which if you go back half an hour in this live stream, you can go and have a rewatch of. It's a shorter hit out to the east stand. It's a 60-metre boundary towards the east stand, going towards about 56 if you hit from square leg when facing the bowling as a right-hander from the Howard stand end. Out towards the western terrace, the deeper pockets are more of a 65. So that shorter boundary in the wind means that whichever team plays those conditions better today is probably going to win.
And sometimes when you're chasing, you can sort of tee up a matchup. So if you know you need 10 and over, you can try and take 1 over down for 16, and it alleviates the pressure from the other end. Whereas when you're setting, it's really hard to know potentially what a good score is. But obviously the reverse fixture at Leicester Yorkshire got themselves in a really good position and then just failed to get over the line. So that might have potentially drawn into the conclusions of why Johnny's batted first, and try and reverse it and put pressure on them with spin through the middle.
The other thing I'd add, far be it from me to contradict you, because you're right, it's always who does the skill better, but across a 5-year period, it is about 66% of the teams winning games here at Headingley in T20s have won the toss and batted. So it tends to raise eyebrows if someone, as Somerset actually did in the women's game on Friday, turns up and decides to bowl. So those 3 changes for Leicester. Ben Mike doesn't play against his old club. Joey Everson and Sam Wood also make room. Josh Davey, Josh Hull and Stephen Eskenazi are the 3 to come in case some of your more curious cricket badger Yorkshire fans are wondering where their former captain Johnny Tattersall is, who signed for Leicestershire at the back end of last season. Tattersall is unfortunately out injured with a hamstring problem. Ian Holland, a big loss for Leicestershire. He was fantastic in the reverse fixture, is at the MLC, which of course is the nature of modern franchise cricket. And Sol Badinja, a big run scorer for the Leicestershire Foxes, is out with a knee problem. Let's take a look at the table in the North Group, which will neatly summarise why this game is so enormous in terms of how qualifying looks. A 12-game group phase this season, and we are most of the way through now. Yorkshire in second. 2 wins from 3 would guarantee a place in the knockouts. 3 wins from 3 would guarantee a home quarter-final. 1 win from 3 leaves Yorkshire sweating on if they would get to those knockouts. The top 2 go through across all 3 groups, and then 2 of the 3 best-ranked third placers. Leicestershire, meanwhile, back down second bottom, have got to win all 4 of their remaining games. It's interesting interviewing Moeen Ali about this on Friday night. He said that it's way better now. I've never understood why you play finals day in September. You build a side, you've got momentum, you must be playing well to qualify, then suddenly you have a big break and your overseas often go back, you don't get the same players in. This makes it a lot better. You want to get in a good rhythm, you don't want that to break. The quarterfinals used to be way after the group stage as well, so it didn't make sense. I'm glad it's like this. It is now moved to being the quarterfinals straight after the group stage on the 15th of July, and then finals day, a date for your diaries, at Edgbaston on the 18th of July. So we are now under 10 minutes from the first ball. Let's reconfirm from you your starting team for Yorkshire today. So not far at all from the first ball now, just over 5 minutes away, and as part of our free-to-watch feature powered by Vertu, who are enabling us to bring you live cricket free to watch wherever you are across the world, we've picked out a trio of players to keep an eye out on for the White Rose. And not too many surprises as to the man that we went for first, Matthew Revis, product of Sebra and Burley and Wharfdale, who actually I was watching yesterday at the Field of Dreams, just a few mere yards away from Headingley, where their ones lost out to Kirkstall Educational, and Rev's brother was actually playing in that one. But more importantly, here at Headingley, he's really showed up on Friday night, and that tie against Chesterfield, we're just starting to see the very best again of Matthew Revis.
Yeah, it's possibly the hardest job in T20 cricket. He's finishing in innings and doing it well. Matty on 2 occasions now, obviously getting to the tie against Derby was a big result, and then on Friday night to do it in the penultimate ball, and it felt like he was never going to miss. Felt like he was always going to bring it home. So absolutely delighted to see how far he's progressed.
Had a chat with Moeen Ali about Matthew Revis on Friday. He said it's amazing how he's batted now compared to initially. It looks like an almost slightly different player in the last couple of games. He's a good player. I know he's got power, but today and at Chesterfield he looked a lot more relaxed than he'd been previously. He took his time. There was a nice shot over mid-on, holding his shape a bit more, and it's amazing once you get a bit of confidence. He's such a strong guy. This ground isn't big enough for him. I really enjoy watching him play, and Wharton and Luxton are all exciting players for us. So Rev, the first of the 3 that we picked out, and the second one, a man I moved on to with that quote, a certain Moeen Ali, who hit 4 sixes off Casey Aldridge on Friday night and 7 off 10 balls.
Yeah, he's been exceptional for us this season. I think more so off the pitch as well as on the pitch. He's been such a leadership figure within the changing room. He's very calm-headed. He'd speak to you about batting all day, and I think we're starting to see a glimpse of what we've seen for England. He's batted so well on Friday night, as you said, took down his matchup and gets, as Rev took the credit at the end, Moeen set it up. So really excited to see him finding his feet and getting some runs on the board again.
Yeah, he said to me as well, there's a certain type of noise you get when you're batting. It happens a lot here and used to happen a lot playing for England here. You get on this roll and the crowd are almost expecting you to hit sixes, and you can thrive off that. When I'm in that mode, I just keep trying to hit every ball for 6, and that certainly is what he did in that destructive period after a slightly slow start. The best players keep their composure and know that they can catch up. The third of our 3 that we've picked out is a man who has the unenviable task of trying to keep batters quiet on one of the flattest and best batting pitches in the country. Jaffa Chauhan, who was superb, came into the team on Friday night and took 3 for 30. A real example of how a good leg spinner can be a point of difference.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen it for many years with Adil Rashid, and Jaff's been, he's been compared to Adil for a long time now, and he's starting to really put his stamp down as being our mystery spinner. It's exactly what your leg spinner needs here, is to take wickets, take the pressure off the seamers, and as you say, it's one of the best batting wickets in the country, so we rely heavily on him to take them wickets with mystery and deception. So great to see him in good form once again.
Your guard of honour provided by Ascombe Welfare Cricket Club. I know the kids, as I saw them waiting to go out, were beaming with excitement. So a lovely moment for them. And the Vertu car, which after a poll on Friday night has been nicknamed Yorkie, has gone to deliver the match ball and has almost taken out umpire Neil Pratt in the process. When it actually came onto the outfield on Friday, it nearly drove into Amy Campbell as she was taking guard, which of all the things you expect to see when you're taking guard, I don't think it's a little motorised vehicle running at you, but thankfully it's not managed to take anybody out, and all part of the fun of the fair, of course.
The form Amy Campbell's in, I'm surprised she did it for 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Too close to her.
Knowing Amy, if it had got any closer to her, it would have been sent over mid-wicket or long on. Of course, Yorkshire's women in action this morning against Warwickshire at Edgbaston, but now from the White Rose point of view, focus turns onto the men. Adam Live and Johnny Bairstow out there. Live seems to have honed in upon this role this season as it's not quite a pinch hitter, but he's the one that will go after it from ball 1. We've seen this a few times, 26 off 13 on Friday here against Durham, 20 off 7 here against Lancashire, 31 off 11 against Derbyshire. Of course, he got that 97 against Gloucestershire too, so this should be a great battle first up. Live, I would predict, is going to be super aggressive here against Josh Hull.
Yeah, Josh Hull, we expect to swing the ball, so should be a good matchup. Adam Lyth, very, very, very good through the offside, so let's see what both parties have for each other.
Josh Hull into the Leicestershire team today, and we'll start this game off from the Howard stand end. Starts one way, just loses his radar a little. That's slightly shorter side and hitting with the wind through the offside. So I wonder, are we going to see Live look to go inside out here? What do you reckon the plan is for Hull?
He's obviously got a slip and a 6-3 field to the offside, so I think he's going to look to be aggressive and swing the ball. We know how important, as a fielding side, wickets are in the power play to stop momentum and really drag it back in the middle over. So I imagine he's going to swing it and try and take Adam Lyth's edge.
He's got a slip in play as Live just drops his hands on this and gets one. Said to me after that 97 here in defeat against Gloucestershire that, and this feels almost a strange thing to say, it feels almost sacrilegious at Headingley, but it is true that he lost his T20 mojo for a little while. He lost his place in the team for a portion of last season's campaign, and he said to me after that knock that actually felt like he'd gone away from what he does best, which was playing on instinct, and that Gloucestershire game, chasing a high score, almost forced him to just go back to that. Johnny Bairstow takes his guard for the first time. Bairstow was imperious here on Friday night with 66 off 36. Bairstow will get off the mark here. But Bairstow's played in a very different way to Live this season. So Bairstow's often actually started quite on Friday night with 66 and then just steadily gone through the gears to the end where it's barnstorming destruction.
Yeah, it's been he's had a very good T20 blast so far. Johnny at the top of the order. We've seen that if you don't get him early, he does tend to go on and get the big scores. So teams will know this. Teams will look to try and target the stumps early and try and get rid of him, because if he gets into the 20s and 30s out the power play, he's a very dangerous player.
Well, again, not for the first time this over, just losing his radar. Bairstow isn't off the mark. It was a leg by.
I think it's interesting you mention, Adam Lyth speaking to you there quite openly about, in his terms, struggling. But the career he's had, it's every Yorkshire boy's dream to have a career he's had. So it just shows how fickle the sport can be if someone who's this good and being some of our best players is thinking like that.
Live does try and go inside out, as I predicted. It's not at all where he'd want it to go, but sometimes the luck shines on you, and it does there for Adam Lyth. First boundary of the contest.
Fortune favours the brave. Josh Hull, as we mentioned earlier, going to look to try and swing the ball, but Adam Lyth using his experience here. If you're going to throw him, you throw him hard. So if you get any edge, no third man in play, it's almost a little bit of a free shot. You're very unlucky to get a thin edge through to the keeper or slip there. With 3 legal deliveries in the over, we've taken the slip out, and Rishi Patel's gone into mid-wicket. So
Straight at cover, and a little misfield, and that allows Bairstow to get back on strike. There's some appeals in vain, but Bairstow was trotting his way through and knew that he was fine. There was a great post on Instagram from Tamar Mills about commentary and analytics that's well worth a look. But one thing he said that was excellent was, when a fielder changes, that is signposting to you that something in the plan has changed. And to me, the slip coming out there was from these first few deliveries, and the Hull's radar maybe not quite being where he wanted it to be. We just thought, actually, from a Leicestershire point of view, we need that cover in the outfield. Bairstow's just guiding, but he won't get anything for that.
Often as well, with such a new ball, it's so hard to control the swing. You don't know. There's a few overheads here at Headingley today, so the ball would potentially swing a bit more. So Josh Hull, realising that, his first ball was a bigger way swinger to Adam Lyth that was too wide. Another one too wide, tried to change it, went down the leg side, so he's opting possibly for a wobble seam now, understanding that the swing's probably a bit harder to control, so the slip then renders pointless, so much more use in the outfield.
Oh, and it's now Bairstow's turn to get a 4 off the outside edge. Well, if you're Josh Hull, don't buy a lottery ticket, don't buy a raffle ticket, save your money. He's gone for 2 boundaries in this first over, both off the outside edge from either opener's bat. 13 without loss after one.
Width, and again, just like Adam Lythe did in the previous few deliveries, threw his hands at it, got enough on it to beat a short third man, as we see Alex Green coming on from the Kirkstall Lane end, another youngster. It's quite interesting that Ben Green's gone for two such youngsters with himself and Josh Davey in the squad, who obviously gained that experience. But I mean, Alex Green has absolutely stormed onto the scene. Played against him a lot in the age groups, and he's a big presence when he comes into ball and bowls that heavy ball. So we're looking to do something similar here to Adam Lythe and Johnny Burster.
2 for 27 last time out against Notts. Just 19 years old. Deliveries like that are why he's making such a good impression. Came through at Market Deeping, and then Oakham, and now he's at Peterborough Town. Product of the Leicestershire Academy, though, in a more sensible pathway of professional cricket. Made his first-class debut in the final championship round against Derbyshire in 2024.
So much more use in the outfield.
Oh, and it's now see it again, the misfortune of Hull from that previous over. And that has leapt up. Lovely bit of extra bounce.
Yeah, it's a lovely length for this field as well. He's got a deep backward square and a very fine deep point, almost like a wide third man. So he's opting for that hard length into the wicket, and he's not giving too much room for these batters. So they're going to have to hit hard, strong shots in front of square if they want to get any value.
And this time Lythe has gone up, hitting with the wind to the short side, and that is the first 6. Quite a response to from Lythe, who was in a bit of trouble from the first 2 balls of this over, but he says take that.
Fantastic shot, something we're so used to seeing from Adam Lythe's bat. Crisp as you like, picks up the length perfectly, and he tried to do it first ball and just missed and adjusted 2 balls later. He's obviously predicted the length as we spoke about with this field and used all that experience that he's had playing at this ground for so many years, and he has absolutely launched that into the East Stand. It's a crisp cricket shot.
And this time has just about got it over mid-off from Lythe. Typically attacking in the power play. Responds to 2 dots with 2 boundaries.
It's a free-flowing shot. Again, Alex Green just overpitched on this occasion, trying to adjust from the ball before. And so someone like Adam Lythe, he's not going to miss out on a ball like that. He drills it. Didn't necessarily get all of it, but enough to beat the evading mid-off.
So much like in the first over, it's the identical fielding change. Slippers come out to mid-wicket. So just a slight signpost from Ben Green that both opening bowlers not quite producing what he wants. I've just tries to run that down. Bairstow was quick in backing up.
This field is very fashionable. Deep point, deep square. But from a batter's point of view, it almost feels like, where are you going to bowl? Because if you give me any width, you've got cover up, mid-off up, so I'm going to fly my hands. And if you come too straight, well, deep mid-wicket and mid-on are in play. As a batter, it's much harder when they have deep square, say deep mid-wicket, and are bowling to that plan. Whereas as a bowler with this field, I'm not sure Alex Green will potentially know where he's meant to bowl because he's got fielders out on both sides.
Back of the length, and that has absolutely leapt and flown. That is buys. That hasn't come off Bairstow's bat, so 15 off the overall told, 11 off Green's figures. He has got 2 in that over to absolutely go. That has absolutely leapt and flown.
I mean, all the best behind the stumps there. That ball has absolutely flown. I mean, Headingley is known for being a very tough place to keep. There is a slight hill here at Headingley where if the ball leaps off it, it often wobbles, especially in a new ball. So I do not envy Cox behind the stumps there. There is nothing he could have done about that.
Yeah, there was almost, I wouldn't quite say an empathetic glance from Bairstow, but definitely a glance round from Bairstow as a fellow keeper, as if to say, I'm quite pleased I didn't have to deal with that. Great to see plenty young and old in the crowd, as well as a couple of young girls, young nippers, who I'm sure are delighted with the result from earlier today. That can bring you a few more details of in a second, as Josh Davey experienced campaigner's experienced campaigner is on. Done this county cricket circuit many a time. So that's just tucked into the onside by Live. Davey, for those who might be unfamiliar, 36 years old, but this is the first time, of course, he's done it in a full season permanently for Leicestershire, having moved from Somerset. He had a loan spell at Leicestershire back in 2023. They've been very smart, the Leicestershire Brains Trust, head coach Alfonso Thomas, assistant coach James Taylor, for a few years now. If they get players in on loan who aren't playing at other clubs, that they've probably been the best operators in that market. Getting a player in on loan, getting them a chance to see and get a feel of what Leicestershire are building, and then coming back and signing them permanently. And it's not always necessarily immediately. And Davey's kind of one of those examples. There wants one, there's not one there. There was a field change, just as I was saying that. So it's now a ring of 5 on the offside. So that gets Bairstow thinking about going inside out. It gets Davey, surely with this field, has got to be looking at the pads of Bairstow.
Yeah, something I mentioned earlier. Davey has, even for Adam Lyth, he had 2 on the leg side, so his plan becomes a lot simpler. He has to bowl at the stumps, which, again, as a batter, you sort of understand that, so you might be able to set up for it, which is where your change-ups come in for. But again, his margin for error, anything outside off to either of these batters or anyone on the county circuit, they should be looking to whack it over the offside.
Bairstow was looking to step to the offside, but then it's a bit of a double bluff because he then steps back and flicks what in truth is a half volley from Davey. Can't bowl that ball to this batter with this field in the power play. Bairstow's second boundary, but his first that has truly come out of mid.
I mean, it's so smart. He backs away, forces him to follow him, and knowing that mid-wicket's free. Anyone on the county circuit. And it's a lose-lose for Josh Davey there. If he goes wide and tries to hide it, he's got no one out on the offside. And if he follows him, it increases the gap to
the offside. But then it's a bit of a double bluff because
Johnny's done for many, many years, and he's implemented it to perfection there.
Didn't sound quite so good off the bat, that one. He'll get 1 that time. Bairstow's on to 9. Yeah, we've seen, I mean, this is a nightmare of a ground to bowl in the power play. And I remember chatting to Will O'Rourke about it last season when he was over as Yorkshire's overseas. AJ Tye, who of course has played here for Durham and for other places when playing away against Yorkshire, but said only once he was playing here regularly for Yorkshire he truly appreciates it. Both teams on Friday were on around 78 off their 6 overs. Just paddles this round the corner. We'll get 1. It's a good change up from Davey.
Yeah, again, he's gone for the deep square, deep mid-wicket, so he has to bowl straight and Adam Lyth's body. But as I said there, his bluff is the change-ups. He's gone for a slower ball there, really hard to generate pace, and suits with his fielding. But yeah, it's a pretty tidy over, 7 off 5 balls, considering what you just said there, Michael, about how quickly we know this ground is historically. So again, Josh Davey is going to look to get out of this set. And from a Yorkshire point of view, Johnny will probably look to try and find a boundary. So it's a big last ball, this.
Right, off the bottom of the bat, Bairstow set off. There was a bit of a yes-no wait, but thankfully for Yorkshire, there wasn't a sorry at the end of it. 35 without loss after 3.
I think I head through the effects, Mark. I don't think Adam Lyth said yes or no. It was more of a some form of Whitby term flying through there, but there's enough experience in these, so they knew that meant no. So luckily they're both still out there, but it's something you have to watch when Lythy's back.
So Yorkshire will feel like to use almost a baseball term, they're starting to load the bases here. These two are in, they're settled. Of course, plenty of England shirts on show in the crowd. I've heard there's a couple of slightly important games between Brazil and Norway and England and Mexico coming up later with a slightly bigger ball than the one we're playing with right now. As Hull starts his second over, change of ends, and Live is left looking up to the heavens in frustration.
That's a bit of a golf swing there, wasn't it? He checked that right at the end, a bit of a 7-iron. He's back at Ganton near Scarborough, but you can see, as you say there, the bases are loaded. I love that phrase. You know, with three overs in, going at just under 12 and over with 0 wickets down and 2 of the most dangerous opening batters in the country. So going to expect some fireworks, and from a Leicester point of view, it could be quite exciting, possibly take a couple of wickets.
Has got himself in a slightly awkward position there. Not even sure how you would describe that shot. It was kind of, he was through it early. And it was kind of a guided cut shot through the vacant extra cover region. It's one of those where if you're Hull, you're very satisfied. The change of pace has worked well.
Something you might find on court 3 of Wimbledon, that I think.
Yeah,
So a backhand, but he's managed to just pick the slow ball at the last minute and, as you say, just chip it over extra cover. So danger averted from an Adelaide point of view and gives a single to Johnny Bairstow on strike. But Hull has started nicely here, first 2 balls. See what he's got here.
That's hit Bairstow. I like this change of ends for Hull. It's seeing and reacting to the bounce, actually, that Alex Green got from this end and going, you know what, we've got someone whose release point is about 11 foot, who it's actually that skill in particular that got them picked by England. Let's actually react and get him on from this end.
Yeah, and naturally as a left arm, you're going to be angling the ball, towards the right-hander's mid-wicket region, so swapping him to the slightly longer side towards the western terrace increases his margin.
And again, has managed to hit Bairstow. That one a slightly slower one that had Bairstow through the shot early. So, I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day, as they say, but it is slightly playing out this opening pair as I predicted. Bairstow's just taking his time and settling in, but it's clear that the onus is particularly on Live at this point to carry things forward.
Yeah, potentially, and that happens sort of in the game as well. If Johnny got off to a really good start and Adam Lyde, didn't quite, then that would be the conversation they're having between the wickets. So it just happens that today that Adam Lyde's been a bit more free-flowing.
Bairstow's whacked that into his own foot. That's a little bit of a sign that he's decided he's had a look now. Now's time to start going. I mean, of course, there's an element where you react to conditions and the ball you're given, but I definitely, it's what I alluded to when Live came out, seems to be I thought that Live is the one that particularly goes out with that licence first up.
Yeah, and I think his role's changed so much over the years that he's been allowed to do many of the roles. And he's so good at reading situations and playing them accordingly.
Yeah, you allude to his legendary status. I think when you've got a mural at a ground, that's a sign that you've made it. It's a fantastic Choose Live mural that lists all of his various accomplishments. It feels like another lifetime ago, but of course a 2015 Ashes winner as well, and Bairstow in the Red Bull stuff has alluded to the fact that as well as Yorkshire looking to establish themselves in Division 1, having got promoted back in 2024, it's seeking that honour of playing in Test matches. As a Yorkshire player here, it doesn't get much better, as he alludes to. So that's pulled straight to short fine, so great over from Hull. Much better than his first, much more control, extra bounce bothering Bairstow. 4 overs gone, tightest over of the innings so far. It goes for just 2, 37 without loss after 4.
Yeah, nicely ball from Josh Hull. He found a length that works on this pitch, as you alluded to earlier about Alex Green getting that extra bounce. We've seen Johnny being beat for lack of pace for the change-ups, and a bounce in there as well. As we see another change of ends for Alex Green, who's opting to come from the Howard stand end.
I mentioned that I had a result to bring you from earlier on. Yorkshire women have won back-to-back games in Tier 1 for the first time since being promoted to that level from last season when they were in Tier 2 and won the 50-over competition in Metrobank Tier 2. Alex Green's on for his second. He's changed ends this time, and his first ball is down the ground, and it hasn't quite crept over the ropes for 6, but that's as good a shot as we've seen all day from Live. It was in the slot a bit. 50 over.
Again, crisp as you like. Adam Live. Slightly over pitch, first ball from Alex Green. Slight back away, giving himself room. That ball was probably not even going to hit the stumps. Down the leg side, and Adam Live giving himself room.
He's changed ends this time, and his first ball is down the... Live has swatted this like it's a fly with his newspaper. Back-to-back 4s. First ball
pressure
is down the...
Pressure on early, boundaries early on in your over. Always put pressure on for the bowlers.
This ball is down the...
He's got 2 really good heads at mid-off, mid-on here, Alex Green. Ben Green,
Live has swatted this ball.
captain,
It's down the...
who made the trip up from Somerset, and as he's waving his arms around, he brings Ryan Ahmed from deep point in and sends back deep mid-wicket.
It's a fly with his...
protection on the leg side. But again, that 5-ring field in the offside, no width can be on offer here to Adam Lyth.
Oh, well, Live just tucks this away in a game of brash bludgeoning. This is just an old-school 4-day shot. Just a little tick around the corner, so Green is under enormous pressure. 12 off 3.
Delicate as you like. We've seen two meaty blurs and
tucks this away.
a little tick around the corner, beating shot fine. Tough man to bowl to when he's in this sort of form, Adam Lyth.
Oh, well, Lyth just tucks this away in a game of...
so many times, but it's so good to watch as a left-hander. Struggling to bowl to him, Alex Green, 12 off his first 3.
Lyth looking to back away, and he's almost been caught at backward point, diving forward. Wasn't a drop. It was an awkward one for Ryan Ahmed. You actually did well to stop it, because you sometimes get these where you get caught in two minds and you don't do either. Away, and he's almost been caught at backward point.
I'd say in the T20 game in the country, so if anyone's going to catch it, it would be Rayan. It's always hard when the bat's pointing towards mid-wicket and the ball's flying to you at point. It's very hard to read that as a backward point. But nice adjustment from Alex Green. Followed Adam Lyth as he gave him room this time.
Just turned into vacant space by Lyth. He's taken 13 off the 5 in this over. It's a leg by, in fact. Lyth is thumping his bat on his pad in frustration there, despite the fact that the team 50's up. I think Lyth quite clearly feels like that was there to go from his reaction.
Alex Green's in, trying to finish off his last ball of his over.
So they didn't quite time that, so it's a dot to finish. It's an over that actually he pulled that back really well. No runs off Green's figures from the last 3 balls, just the leg by. 50 without loss after 5. So a question from Leicestershire's point of view, where do you go now? Hull has looked very good in his 2 overs, but you don't want to bowl him out this early, really.
No, he's someone you can add to the attack when things are troubling, because he's got such a different action and release point. I think they've got 2 wild cards to come, Ben Green and Ryan Ahmed. They're going to be the absolute key. Leg spinner and Ben Green, the experience of all his change-ups and actually taking the pace off the ball at Headingley seems to work quite well. So I think Leicester are padding. I imagine Ryan Ahmed will bowl straight after this power play and Ben Green to follow. So they're just going to try and get out of this. So they've gone to the experience of Davey to finish off this power play.
Straight to in front of mid-off, well judged. Quick single, Ben Green does the fielding. Captain, as you alluded to, holding himself back.
Yeah, strong start from Josh Davey, as we alluded to there. A lot of experience. Last over the power play, gone straight to the block hole. I think we're going to expect something here in this over. Johnny 9 off 13. Last over the power play is going to make to look use of it. Adam's going so well at the other end that it's only right that he has a go at this. But again, deep mid-wicket, deep square. Not going to give any room for Johnny to swing his hands. So are we going to see him back away? Are we going to see him take it on?
Based on this season so far, this is around the point Bairstow starts to launch. Shouldering arms to what is a really nice change-up with the bumper from Davey. Bowling to his field as well. It's a field we've seen a lot of in this power play. That ring of 5 on the offside. Bairstow stepping away to leg is to be expected at some point in this over, you'd think.
Yeah, potentially. It's twofold as a bowler, because you signpost where you're going to bowl, but it also makes it hard because you don't get that room. So the batter has to create something or risk taking on a deep square, deep mid-wicket, which brings them fielders into play. So it's an awesome start from Josh Davey. Nailed a Yorker and nailed a bumper first 2 deliveries.
Still will get 1. Davey bowling well to his field once again. He's only gone for 9 off 9 here. Josh Davey, who it feels like has been around forever. Had more than 10 years at Somerset from 2014 to 2025. The real badges amongst you might remember that he actually made his professional debut for Middlesex before he moved to Somerset. Made his debut in the old CB40 back in 2010 when 40 over cricket was still a thing in the English domestic.
How old is he? 40 over cricket?
Exactly.
Never heard of that.
36 years old, Josh Davey. As he's overpitched that time, and Davey slightly spoilt what had been a good over. That's just a wide half volley, and to live in this form, it's 4 runs, thank you very much.
Seen it time and time again. Like a broken record, any width to Adam Live, it's going to crash away. Never heard of that. It's something I alluded to earlier with this type of field, of the deep point and deep square. It can be very hard to bowl to know where you're going to bowl.
Davey slightly exactly.
Adam Live, when he's in this form, as you say, he's not going to miss out on a wide half volley, whether it's the 6th over or the 1st.
He's overpitched that time, and Davey slightly spoiled what had been a good over.
Of his bottom hand there, just to make sure it gets over cover point and away to the Western Terrace. So we do see a change of field as deep point is come in and deep cover's gone back. The slower pace of Davey often means the ball does go in front of square.
On the track this time. Live will get just one. Davey, of course, also a Scottish international. 31 ODIs, 31 T20Is. We'll have had plenty of duels over the years with a man who's just about to jump on comms and give Noah Kelly a well-earned rest, a certain Logan van Beek, one of the more media-friendly members of this Yorkshire squad. You would have seen him on the hype video building up to the first ball.
Face for radio, I mean.
Oh, I don't know about that. If I was him, I'd be looking for some endorsements for that hair. 57 without loss, 1 ball left of the power play. This will be just 1, so Davies managed to get out of the over with a minimum of fuss. 58 without loss then. And, well, we might have seen 2 power plays where both sides scored high 70s on Friday, but this is a slightly more used pitch. And the other big advantage for Yorkshire is, of course, they've managed to get to this point without losing a wicket. So we wish a very warm welcome on a cloudy Headingley afternoon, but thankfully with no threat of rain, to Logan van Beek. How are we?
Good, thanks. Nice to be here. Hello, YouTube.
Continuing your various, how would we call it, work experience, internship, different roles, different jobs. You were doing at the ICC Women's T20 World Cup. I know a lot of people were loving your socials work there.
Yeah, well, if you're not on the park, you might as well find something to do, and the comms and media and content production was something I've found myself into.
Rehan Ahmed on. He's always one of those players that you pay for a ticket to go and see. He's flicked by Bairstow into the onside for 1. Rehan, who is such a bonus for Leicestershire. I mean, that's just one of those calls that you just love to get. It might have been the head coach, Alfonso Thomas. It might have been James Taylor as the number 2. It might have been Claude Henderson, the director of cricket. You know what? He was with England, but you can have him back for the day. Wasn't in the initial matchday squad, but the trump card is available for the Foxes, and now out of the power play they've played him. That's almost hit straight to cover from Live on the catch, but as it is, it's a decent stop.
Played last season with Ray, and he is an absolute talent. Absolute talent, very much. He's going to play a lot of cricket for England, and for Leicester today to have him back is fantastic.
Live just whipping into the onside. Yeah, you beat me to it. You are probably the perfect person for this game because, of course, it's your new teammates against your old team.
Exactly right. Yeah, no, I had a fantastic season last year with Leicester, and we had great success in the 4-day comp, mixed in the T20 comp, but know these guys very well.
So it's just jammed down on that. Hasn't really gone where he wants to. Just dribbles away for a single. So Rehan already, unsurprisingly, looking dangerous. We saw Sauter took 1 for 23 on Friday night for Durham. Chauhan took 3 for 30. A good leg spinner can be a massive point of difference on a flat track like Headingley. He's tried to pummel this into the gap. He has pummeled this into the gap. Well, that just breaks the pressure that Rehan Ahmed was starting to produce. 3 or 4, but now a boundary. Leg spinner can be a massive point of difference.
You look
on
at
like
Ray actually holds it cross seam. not much turn in the wicket there.
Leg spinner can be a
life in
massive
this
point
form.
of difference on a flat
He's going
track.
to pounce on that, and pounce he did.
Clive is tried to pull it into the boundaries from a second 50 of the campaign. Got that 97 here against Gloucestershire. He'll pick up just one, so 8 comes off Rowan Ahmed's first over, 66 without loss. I think we might well see Ben Green here, the skipper.
You look at the Leicester's attack today. You've got 2 young, up-and-coming fast bowlers, guys that can bowl late, 80, close to 90 miles an hour. Left arm, Josh Howell. You've got Alex Green, who's an exciting talent, who bowls. If you've seen it, you've had 4 byes early on in the power play, and then you've mixed it with Josh Davey and Ben Green, who are very much canny, off-pace bowlers. They will use their field very much so. Obviously, we've got one shorter side with the wind at longer side. So Ben Green, with his off-cutters, his knuckleballs, he's going to have a spinner's field, and he's just going to mix up his pace. Ideally, get hit more to the offside, to the Western Terrace, but an experienced campaigner, first time in the North Group. I haven't played for Somerset for a very long time.
He was living a double life for a while. More on that in a second. So first ball of Green's new over is cut away for 1, and as predicted, quickly going to change up. He had this strange time, so he became a red ball favourite during a few loan spells at Leicestershire, and at the same time was a key part of the Somerset team that won the Blast. It was very, for those who know your English literature back in the day, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde sort of stuff. You pop up in one team in one format and one in another, but has now, of course, settled on Leicestershire as his permanent home, which I know they were absolutely chuffed about. He's got 10 wickets in the Blast this season, going at just under 11s, which, if you think that's expensive, you have to remember he often bowls at the worst time. He's stacked his leg side field, everybody out, so he's got to give Bairstow no width here with a field like this. Well, he tried to bowl to the plan, but in truth, that's a long hop. Doesn't matter where you put your fielders. Someone like Bairstow's going to easily put that away. He accepts the gift. 4 more.
Is that the shot that gets Bairstow rolling? As I've seen throughout this whole Blast and in his whole career, often it's just one shot that turns the switch for Bairstow. It's almost like a sleeping bear. You wake the bear, you hope the bear, he wakes up, and then suddenly carnage.
Well, he tried to bowl to the... Are you aware of this nickname George Hill gave him, Big Bad Blue? He's absolutely mullered that Bairstow. It's only 5 yards to the right of mid-wicket. Well, it looks like Johnny Bairstow is going through the gears here. Beware, Leicestershire. 2 4s and 2 balls. Well, he tried to bowl to the...
Having spoken to Johnny this season, there's certain bowlers that he just licks his lips. And I think Ben Green at the moment is someone that he can
tried to bowl
take advantage of. And now that he's got those first 2 away, I think the gear is firmly
absolutely
in 6th gear.
Mullered that Bairstow. It's only
keep going.
Comes off the pads. Bairstow will be a little bit frustrated to lose strike here, as we alluded to. He fancied a bit of that matchup, but live hitting leg side to the shorter side and with the wind, he may also fancy a piece of Ben Green here. It's interesting, we've talked about this way that he starts his innings. He was, before those 2 boundaries, he was 12 off 18. He was on a very similar score at Notts when he went on to get 83 not out off 47. Again, similar situation here against Lancs. He went on to get 73 off 44. It's live. Just flicks that away. It's one of these micro moments you sometimes see in games where you wonder whether a bit of live is thought Bairstow's hitting it that well off green. You have that strike back.
Yorkshire have changed the opening pair a couple of times throughout the season. Obviously, Will Luxton has had a couple of opportunities, but I think Yorkshire like that left-hand, right-hand combination at the top. It makes it harder for the power play bowlers to get a rhythm.
Bairstow got himself in a bit of a tangle there. There was an appeal from Green, but I think if it was a pad, it was quite a wooden pad. And indeed, it is given as runs. 78 without loss then at the end of Green's first over. Yeah, it does look like this opening combination has become rightly the one for the White Rose. In terms of saying well, I think given that you're a current active Yorkshire player, we can forgive you. We always strive for neutrality. Apu in the Vertu commentary box, but given that these are literally your teammates. But interesting to see, no sense of split loyalties then, I say with a smile on my face.
No, I'm a cricket fan. So today is on the comms, and I'm here to speak what's in front of us, be present. Although it was a nice time last year, this has been a great time at Yorkshire so far. And
changing the bowling, Travaskis is on. So again, holding back that trump card of Rehan, who's got 3 overs left.
well, as we see from the last match, we had 2 spinners through the middle, or I'd say 2 spinners. You had a Nathan Souter, and then you had Ben Rain, who's a glorified spinner, I would say.
Yeah, I know.
Were very, very useful in that middle phase. So here with Ray, with Liam Travaskis as well, they're going to be bowling a lot of these overs through the middle. And I think here at Yorkshire, because of this outfield, and both Life and Bairstow like pace on the ball, they're going to just try and take the pace off a little bit with Ben Green as well, slower balls, and Josh Davey with slower balls, and just try and hold off the pace as much as possible.
Goes on the reverse and has managed to get that fine. Smart shot from Live. That gives Travaskis something to think about tactically. And it's 50 up for Adam Live, 50 off 27 balls, 8 fours and a 6. It's his second 50-plus score in the competition this season, after 97 here against Gloucestershire. And he is the big reason why Yorkshire have made a great start, having won the toss and chosen to bat, as he dances down and pokes it away for 1.
When you look on the scoreboard and you see 84 for none, and you Adam Live 51 off 28, and Bairstow 20, well, he's just starting to get going now. The shoulders start to feel a little bit more loose.
Swiping a miss from Bairstow. And of course, Live playing like this is part of what helps give Bairstow that sense that he can take his time into his innings. In another world where Yorkshire are 30 for 3 and he's lost 2 or 3 partners, that puts the mental pressure on Bairstow more as they scamper through for 1 to finish Travaskis' over, which goes for just 7, 85 without loss then after 9. And for those unfamiliar, Logan Van Beek alongside yours truly, Michael McCann on comms, you've been building your life outside cricket already. I was having a little look through the follow through with LVB podcast across the last few years. You've had some incredible guests on there. Like, how fun has that been as a space? Of course, people should go give it a follow on Instagram to get used to life outside playing, different skills.
Well, that's it. But 2020, when COVID hit and everyone was stuck inside, I needed something to do, and podcast was already very popular, but I thought I'd join the bandwagon.
Rehan Ahmed is back for his second change of ends, and that one sharply came in to Bairstow, who was trying to access that offside here. Square leg mid-wicket and long on out. Goes on reverse. That's that impact outside the line of off stump.
One of Ray's secret skills is, I say secret, he loves cricket. So he loves this matchup now. You got Johnny Bairstow, Adam Life, and he's very much a big game player. So he loves that feeling of, give me the ball.
Well, Bairstow has launched that, got underneath it, and he has just about got it into the Western Terrace. That is a long, long hit because we're on a few pitches over towards the East Stand. And again, just a sign that Bairstow is deciding that now's the time to go. His first maximum.
This is Johnny Bairstow, bludgeoned. He's one of those guys that, when you go with Ray here first.
It's on the reverse this time, and that one is given. That one is out. There was one earlier on in the over that it was impact outside off, but that was a bit straighter from Rehan. And that is a brilliant response from the young spinner to being hit for a big, big 6. And Bairstow, just as he wanted to try and step up and go a little faster, is out for 28 off 30, 91 for 1.
Yeah, Ray has just shown his class. Like I said, he's a big-time player. He's an international cricketer. He's not phased of who he's bowling to or who he's facing when he's bowling. get hit. He just gets hit for a massive slog sweep here, backs himself, goes for the wrong end again. Sorry, no, not a wrong end, just a flat kind of slider. Johnny tries to be innovative, but again, Ray wins the battle there.
That again, it was something, and he's someone who I know before he sadly passed, who mentored Ray and Ahmed quite a bit. The late great Shane Warne talked about, which is particularly as a leg spinner, you almost want to get hit for 6. If you get hit for 6, that shows a batter's trying to take you on, and that's going to give you more opportunities to get them out. And you could see Rehan Ahmed showing that composure here. I mean, he's 21, but it feels like he's already been around for such a long time, and he's someone that Leicestershire can rightly count on in big moments like this. As Will Luxton comes to the wicket. Luxton, who's been in pretty good T20 form recently, had a run of starts until a low score Friday night. Won't get off the mark there. The one thing you'd say that would have been frustrating for Luxton is that he didn't go on with these starts. He got 6 against Durham, but before that he'd had 5 innings in a row where he'd passed 20 but not got past 46. And there's always that sense once you've done the hard work of getting in, you want to punish a team. Just the 6 off the over then from that big 6 by Bairstow just before he got out. 91 for 1 off 10.
What does it say? Happy 49th birthday.
Yeah, happy 49th birthday,
That's,
James.
that's
I'd assume that must be one of the parents.
Yeah, that's an interesting birthday to really celebrate. But no, happy birthday. Happy 49th birthday to
Particularly
James.
if you're superstitious as a cricketer, hey? Maybe he's a bowler. Bowlers tend to like 49 and 99 a little bit more than the batters. Travaskis is back and he's swept by Live. Fetching this from 5th, 6th stump. Knows that there's only short, fine leg to beat. So it's something you see a lot from Adam Live. He's so good against spin at manipulating it behind square either side of the wicket.
I think as a fielding side or as a captain, you just got to have that deep backward square, another 5 behind, deep mid wicket, 5 squarer, even long on squarer. He's very much a manipulator square of the wicket. Yes, he can hit down the ground, but he's going to look at that gap and he knows that how quick the outfield is. And there, he's looking again.
This time, Live just nurdles it away. Travaskis has had a great blast. 9 wickets at 25 and an economy rate of 7.7, which is fabulous figures, no matter what way you look at it. He's got a bit of a claim to fame, actually. He's probably bowled one of the best final overs in Blast history. Took 4 for 16 at Old Trafford in 2018, but he had a final over where he took 3 wickets to snatch a most improbable of victories. Stepped away Luxton, and in the end just content to turn it around the corner for 1 to get off the mark.
If you spoke to Liam end of last year, they just signed Keshav Maharaj. So he was going to be coming for the county championship and the Blast, and if he would be the first one to say, I was pretty frustrated. Now that we fast forward to today, and like you said, you just mentioned his stats so far: 9 wickets, going at a good economy rate, being a key member for the Foxes this season. He's very happy now to be bowling through the middle, been leading the way for Leicester.
Luxton just chips this down the ground, but knows that there's no conventional mid-on in. So you often get a little period like this post-power play, particularly if you lose a wicket. Live's just taking a second to reassess. Luxton settling in. Live uses the reverse for the second time. He's not the first time in this over off Travaskis, and uses it to good effect. So the over bookended by boundaries from Live, 103 for 1 off 11.
Now, looking at the score, 103 for 1 after 11. If you're the batting side, the importance now is to get Adam Life on strike as much as possible. Will Luxton just needs to hit good cricket shots. There'll be 1 shot there that will get him going, but at this stage, in his first kind of 10 balls, if he can get Adam Life on strike as much as possible and let Adam do most of the power hitting, that's going to be good for Yorkshire.
over of Rehan, who's been so impressive. But Luxton tries to take him down the ground. And it's caught on the juggle by Ashton Turner. Well. He would have been having his heartbeat a little higher for a few seconds, but all's well that ends well for Leicestershire. Rehan Ahmed has his second wicket. He gets out his former under-19 England teammate, Will Luxton. Luxton gone for just 2, 103 for 2.
Obviously, the mic wasn't in Will Luxton's ear at that stage when I was speaking, but that's the way Will plays. He, lives by the sword, dies by the sword, and as we've seen this season, he can play some fantastic shots. Just there, got the bottom of the bat. We've got Ashton Turner down at the deep as well. Right off the bottom of the bat. Ashton Turner, now I've been telling the guys some fielding techniques. As you see there, kids, keep your hands high, because just in case when you bobble it, you have a chance to recover. And Ashton Turner there has been taught very well from his fielding coaches back in Perth. High hands. It looks comfortable, but you never know.
Until it isn't.
Exactly, but there we go, second chance. Too many guys I see these days try and catch it at their waist, which just means that you're going to drop it if you bobble it. Whereas high hands, you always have a second chance.
The Aussie method, as it's called by some, of course, because the old school British method was the one that you described, but you're right, it doesn't give you that second bite of the cherry. Moeen Ali is in. He was swashbuckling on Friday night. Hit 7 sixes off 10 balls. One point. And there's a little bit of bragging rights there as well for Rehan, because he and Will Luxton are really good friends. They were part of the England side that were World Cup finalists in the Under-19 World Cup back in 2022. Jacob Bethel and James Rue were also in that team. They were having a few warm words with each other and had a little hug in the warm-up. So I'm sure Rehan will be reminding Luxton of that. But this time Rehan has been slog-swept perfectly in the gap from Adam Live, who shows no signs of stopping. That's a good, aggressive but controlled shot.
Yeah, and square the wicket, Adam Life. Doesn't care if it's spinning or not. He's going to fully commit to that shot. And that outfield is race lightning quick.
Well, Rehan, as we thought he might be, is proving to be a bit of a game changer here. He wants to sweep that. That's proper get your broom out stuff. He's fetching that from about 5th, 6th stump. And it's hard to pick him from the commentary box, but I think that's the one from Rehan that's the googly that's turning away from the lefty. I wouldn't be surprised if he uses a lot of that to the left-hander, but that's too short from Rehan. And Live is all too happy to take advantage. It's probably the worst ball of Rehan Ahmed's spell. So unsurprisingly, it ends up in the east stand, and it spoils what had been a fantastic over. 114 for 2 off 12.
What I love about Adam Lifer's innings is that although a couple of wickets have fallen in the last couple of overs, that hasn't stopped him from taking advantage of the bad ball. It just shows that he's clear in his thinking, and anything that's there to hit, he's pouncing on. And he's shown all experience. He got Adam Life kind of late 30s, 39. Moeen Ali into his 40s, or maybe 39 as well.
I was going to say, Moeen Ali 38. I'm not sure they appreciate the inflation and VAT you put on his age to make him 40.
Very apologies to all the Moeen Ali fans.
No, if you're getting at the experience in this Yorkshire side, then I know exactly what you mean. Alex Green is back, 23 off his first 2. And Ali is going to have a look, I think, and he did that on Friday night as well. We talked about Bairstow playing this sort of steady innings that then launches. Well, Moeen Ali did pretty much the same version. He was on 15 off 18 on Friday night, and then he went and he made 60 off 32. It's 7 sixes in 10 balls, 4 sixes off Casey Aldridge into primarily the east stand. This time Moeen is just flicking round the corner for 1.
The reason why they've brought Alex Green back is a bit of an enforcer. Knowing Moeen Ali is probably early on his innings, he probably doesn't really want too many balls short. He's one of those guys that will give himself a few balls. They've brought mid-off, mid-on up, mid-wicket up cover up. They're all tight in the circle, just trying to make him feel a little bit uncomfortable with Alex Green's pace. And as Moen, he won't be too phased, all 38 years of himself, but he'll give himself a few balls. But I think Leicester here just trying to take advantage, trying to bring Alex Green on, see if they can snag another wicket.
Everybody out on the onside. So it's unsurprising that it's there. That's good bowling to his field. From Green to live, offering next to with Don Bess in an interview at the start of the season affectionately referred to Yorkshire's team as Dad's Army. There certainly is plenty of experience. Whiteman 33, Ty 39, Bairstow 36, Moen Ali 38, Adam Live 38. The man to my left won't thank me for saying that he's 35. Moen Ali, in fact, 39 on the 18th of June, so he turned 39 during this Blast campaign. So we were both 1 year off.
It's well bowled by Alex. Alex is an exciting talent. If you're an English fan, he's 6'6", a big kid, and he bowls quick, and he bangs the wicket. What I love about Alex last year when I was with Leicester, and he was asking a couple of questions around three-quarter balls or slower balls, but he was intently listening to kind of every word I was saying. Whether or not I was saying some good stuff, who knows?
I'm sure you were.
He is like a sponge, and he takes everything in.
Flicked away, but again, this is bowling to his field from Green. It's a long old hit out there. It's a comfortable 2. This has been a nice execution of a plan this over from Green to the 2 left-handers. He's decided he's going to just put everyone out on that leg side and not offer a lot of width. Just on the note of that experience, we worked it out in the Durham game last season. Yorkshire had about 1,100 T20 appearances. This season, in the home game here against Gloucestershire, it was almost 2,000. It's not far off double the amount of T20 experience in this Yorkshire outfit as Live flicks away. It ends a great over from Green. So the over's gone for 6, 120 for 1. Thank you very much to Logan van Beek for his company across the last 7 overs. Noah Kelly settling back into the seat alongside me as the youngsters get themselves on the dance camera. All part of the fun of the T20 Blast, and of course they can get their autographs if they're out in front of the East Stand at the end of the game. I know that's something that is a bit of a highlight for the kids, trying to get as many selfies as possible. In my day it was autograph hunting, but actually sometimes these days it's more moved to the era of the photo to prove that it happened. We welcome back Noah Kelly with Ben Green on. Starts with a full toss, which he gets away with.
Just on that point there, Michael, I reckon I've got a good dozen photos when I was a kid down at that East Stand there with the likes of Adam Lythe. I've got 3 pictures of Adam Lythe.
Well, the first thing I was going to say was Adam Lythe. Of course, you being a left-handed top-order bat, he'd be the one you'd naturally gravitate towards you as a kid from Driftfield.
I do tend to bring them out from time to time and show him just how experienced he is. Oh, I wasn't going to say that. Just how experienced he is.
Experienced is the word, as Moen gets one down the ground.
Speaking of experience, these 2 left-handers, 2 people I've watched growing up, both exceptional in the fields. Moen obviously delighted to have his services up at Yorkshire for the next couple of years. He's, as I alluded to earlier, he's been an awesome signing in and around the group as well as on the pitch.
You've got to be looking for 200 plus here. Leicestershire have pulled this back really well. There was a point where, if you're a Foxes fan, it looked quite ominous, you'd say, around 78 without loss after 8. And by no means has it been pedestrian since then, but we've had 5.5 overs that have gone for 44. So just in and around 8 and over since the power play.
I think the wickets do tend to do that, especially if someone's set Adam Lythe.
Goes up and over. Live gets that through. I think that's one of those ones that without the wind it might have been caught, but there is quite a breeze blowing towards that east stand and Live uses it to his advantage. It's the first boundary in 10 balls.
As I was about to say, Adam Lythe's just taking a bit more of a consolidative role. He slog sweeps a seamer.
Yeah.
He gets enough on it, and as you say, that wind on the shorter side gets it across, but I think for a moment there you can see he stops after he hits the ball and potentially thinks he's picked out deep mid-wicket, but full swing of the bat and it crashes into the sideboards 4-6. Awesome shot.
Got this straight at short fine. Yeah, he has only got one T20 100, Adam Live, but it was some 161 off 73 against Northants here in 2017. It's the highest ever scored in English cricket, and at the time it was the third highest T20 score in the world. Got 97 against Gloucestershire in defeat here this campaign earlier on. Into the pads, but I think that's pitched about a country mile down leg.
I think it's something Adam spoke about previously, is that innings had sort of kick-started the belief in himself that he could go on and do a lot in that T20 space. Obviously played for England in the Test side 2 years before, and as you alluded to earlier about winning the Ashes, but that knock just gave him so much confidence and opened so many doors around the world. He's been a regular feature in the Abu Dhabi T20 League, as well as having a stint with the Perth Scorchers.
Yeah, he was Big Bash winner at Perth Scorchers. I mean, there was
the Big Bash.
There was a time with the Perth Scorchers where quite frankly, if you've played for them, you've almost certainly won it because they were so regularly dominant in that competition. You can actually make a case that in terms of his T20 CV, he's got one of the best in the world for someone that has never played a T20I for their country. He has more than 5,000 domestic T20 runs at an average of almost 25 and a strike rate of 143. So Rehan Ahmed is back on. The Fox is playing no doubt biggest and best card.
Interested to see what Moeen chooses to do here. Brought on Rehan to the big leg side for Moeen there. So it's a big hit to clear that deep mid-wicket boundary.
Moeen instead goes straight as you like, and high as you like. That has hit the second row of the top tier of the Howard stand. That is no doubt, by some distance, the biggest six that we've seen all day. Even our poor camera operators couldn't keep up with it. It travelled so fast.
That is enormous. From the crease as well. We've seen Harry Butt clear it using his feet.
Moeen tries to go again and has gone. Well, much like Bairstow, it's 6 and out for Moeen Ali. So 136 for 3. And for the second time in this game, after immediately being hit for a massive maximum, Rehan Ahmed comes back in the best possible style. The young spinner holds his nerve. He has 3, and Moeen has to go for 10.
As I was just saying, the distance he got on that 6 was remarkable from the crease, just using his body weight and his pure swing. But on this occasion, Rehan Ahmed flatter into the wicket. Possible googly. We'll have a look on the replay. But you can see the change in line and length. It's definitely a googly, and it pitches about a foot outside leg and causes him to drag it. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a massive side to that deep cow corner boundary. So Moeen Ali this time not quite getting enough of it, and a fairly simple catch.
It's the kind of delivery that if you don't quite understand the intricacies of the game, you might sit and think, oh, that's just a long hop. It's Rehan trying to get Ali to hit exactly where he wants him to hit.
Absolutely. It's something Adil Rashid has spoke about so many times, that towards the end of his over, his best ball is short and wide because he sets a deep cover, he has 2 points, and as long as he gets it flat enough, they should not be able to get it over extra cover. So it looks like a long up, as you said there, but that is just as intended from Rehan Ahmed, and it brings to the crease the man of the hour, Matthew Revis, who's come in almost at a perfect time as a Yorkshire fan here with 5.3 overs left. He'll look to possibly rotate strike to start with, give Adam Lythe a strike and use his finishing skills to top off the innings.
Revis will just have a look at one first up and get off the mark. He had a big beaming smile on his face in the warm-ups when I said to him, I assume you're still just running off the fumes of Friday. And he said, yep. He was alluding to an interview he did in-house pre-season where he said often the hardest thing is getting on a roll, like when he got those 3 championship tons in as many games last season. He wasn't far from 4 from 4. So Live goes back and can only find point.
Yeah, he's a man that does carry momentum well, as you alluded to there. He's a man, if he's scoring runs and you've got him upcoming, then it's a dangerous, he's a very imposing figure at the crease.
And he's certainly drawing attention as well. Darren Goff on the Stick to Cricket podcast, a man who nearly got the England selectors job, described Revis as one to watch for the future. Of course, he toured Australia and Abu Dhabi with the England Lions. He was picked out by Goff as one of 3 he wanted to keep an eye out on in county cricket. Scan if you want to get involved for the Vertu Bullseye Challenge. If you get yourself on the outfield and you can roll the cricket ball in the right spot, you could win yourself a Vertu Mystery Prize. The current top score is 25 from 5. You get 10 for the bullseye, 5 for the outer, 1 for the very outer part of it. I know from presenting it on Friday, being pitch side, made you appreciate it. It is harder than it looks.
Do we have any inclination of what the mystery prize will be? Any rumours flying around the office?
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, they're a car company, so I think the most optimistic thing
Win
is that you might get yourself a car, but we don't know that.
Should we just say that and get people to do it?
Leicestershire trying to keep a lid on rampant Adam Live, who, well, his reaction speaks for itself there. He knows that's probably one of the worst balls he's faced all innings. Short extra up in the ring. Live is busy self-chastising before regaining his composure.
He wears his heart on his sleeve, Adam Live. I think if he hits him for 6 or he gets a dot ball, you know, without watching the shot, what's happened by watching his body language. He doesn't hide it.
He's just looked round twice at square leg there. I think that hit with the wind, he's going to be eyeing here off Davey. Oh, that's a horror delivery from Davey. It's a no ball. It's caught at deep mid-wicket, which means there's no further penalty for the Foxes. Davies immediately got his hand out and being apologetic, of course. Free hit to follow, and it's Revis who will get the benefit of the free hit.
It's not a man you need to give an invitation to this. He will hit it for 6, even if it's not a free hit. So takes middle there, but I'm sure he'll be stepping across and trying to hoy this.
So across his 69 not out against Derbyshire that rescued Yorkshire a tie at Chesterfield, having lost their last 9 games on that ground, and he's 34 not out against Durham. Revis has scored 103 runs without getting out at a strike rate of 219 per 100 balls. So when we said he's a man in form, he really is a man in form. Everybody's out on the onside, so I think Davey is going to look to go into the pads. That's down to long off for 1. Josh Davey. Noah Kelly alongside me whispering bold there in admiration.
Yes. Yeah, that was well bowled. I couldn't keep my mouth shut there. That was, he just brought up deep cover and dropped long off, as if to say, well, I'm going to go Yorker, and you're going to have to try and hit for 6. And stayed with the plan and nailed it well and got away with it. So only 2 from first 3 deliveries. 3, beg your pardon.
Hangs that wide, but not wide enough. Live making his feelings known. I must say, from the naked eye, I thought that was okay.
Wow.
As
a batter, I obviously disagree. So it's a wide all day. I actually haven't seen the replay, but with the angle, it would, in Josh Davies' defence, look like it's gone wider than it has, just with the angle of over the wicket. So he's bowling to his plan nicely with deep point, deep cover out. That wide Yorker that we often speak about, he's nailing it.
Full toss from Davey. Second full toss in the over. The first one was completely missed by Live, and this one goes away for just a couple, plinked out into the covers.
I do like this field. Fine leg third man in the ring. Adam Live, not often one to go to the ramp or the reverse ramp. Plays more conventional. Keeps his shape. So knowing that, it gives you a little bit more license with your field to keep them men in the ring and say, you know, this is I'm going to bowl the signpost with the deep point and the deep cover.
Shorter live. You can see from the way he's stepping across, he wants to get after that shorter side with the wind, but he'll only get one. And again, it's something we've seen a fair bit of in the last 10 minutes or so, live thumping that pad in frustration. He knows what a high-scoring ground this is, and he knows with the platform Yorkshire have laid that they're going to be wanting 200 plus, and you'd have to say if Yorkshire can't find the acceleration to get there, for all Yorkshire had that great base laid, Leicestershire will probably walk off the happier. Short slow ball from Davey. Neatly fielded out at square leg to keep it to just one by, I believe it was Nick Kelly, who will be key with bat in hand later on. So 145 for 3 off 16, and Yorkshire will be worried that they're in danger of having laid a platform, not quite got to the sort of score they would want. The average winning score here in the last 5 years for a T20 at Headingley hovers around 210.
Yeah, these 4 overs are going to be key. Rayan Ahmed has bowled out, so that is... And he's taken the only 3 wickets in the game, so he has been absolutely key for this. But we see Alex Green being brought on now. This is, in my eyes, a big over. This is going to set up whether they get the 210 or they fall slightly short. You know, you've got a young kid who, despite being an extreme talent, hasn't quite got the experience of Adam Lyth or Matthew Revis, so if they can try and get hold of this over, then that's going to be really key for Yorkshire's target of 200 plus.
Swipe and a miss from Revis, who, you know, we've spoken about it before, but wanting to access that shorter side. Mid-on is very straight here, so it looks like a very big gap from deep mid-wicket to mid-on. And Revis will fancy a bit of that. That pocket, it drops down to about 56 metres. High 50s, which... for these guys, I mean, Moeen Ali said to me, like, when he's in the form that he's been in, no ground's big enough for Matthew Revis. Too wide from Green.
See a little bit of a double bluff there as the third man was brought in the ring, long on, gone back, and Alex opting to go wide. A bit too wide on this occasion. But yeah, having said that, he's not quite got the experience of these two. He's had absolutely outstanding returns versus Yorkshire in red ball and white ball in previous matchups, and he'll look to be better in that today.
Always been a good club at developing young talent, Leicestershire. Academy product. Green again, just losing his bearings. 19-year-old. Bowling in the pressure overs here. He's had a very good blast. 5 wickets at 22, economy rate of 8 before today. He's actually a really good example of how the Metrobank One Day Cup can help develop players. Of course, there's a big debate on the fact it's played at the same time as the 100, but for players like an Alex Green, it's actually done a lot for his development. So Revis didn't quite get full throttle on that. Didn't have that sort of sound off the bat that isn't the one the batters dream of when the head's on the pillow at night.
I think it's a really good point, actually, that, Michael. Obviously, you lose out on watching England stars and the best players at your county potentially playing 50-over cricket for the county. However, the likes of Alex Green, Ollie Sykes down at Surrey, you know, these are guys who ordinarily wouldn't get a run of games in the T20 or the 4-dayer, but to be able to develop the players playing in professional cricket, it then bleeds into these other formats and creates an all-format player.
Live steps across, creates an angle, and manages to get 4. It's smart batting from Live, who moves into the 90s, just using the pace of Green against him through the finest of fine legs.
Yeah, Adam Lyth not missing out on that. Whether he's on 87 now or it's his first delivery, just strained a bit too leg side here, Alex Green, and it's put away beautifully, in fact, because it wasn't that wide down the leg side, but Adam Lyth, almost like a paddle sweep, gets so low, gets his head down and just flicks it and avoids short fine leg.
Fine leg's gone back, so everybody is up on the onside, and Live timed that so sweetly. I say again, my goodness me, you could get quite the compilation of all the Live reactions in this innings. He's throwing his head up to the heavens. It almost gives you, it's the level of what you see from from the footballers in the World Cup when they're not happy with a VAR decision.
It's a heck of a bit of time in that for someone who, it's not an ordinary shot he'd go to, the switch hit or the reverse hit over third man, but he struck it sweetly.
Revis has got that slightly off the bottom end of the bat, but he's such a powerful man. It still nearly went for 4. He'll come back for a comfortable 2. Just jumping back to Green, I think he is one of the best possible examples, because in a world where the Metrobank One Day Cup is not on at the same time as the 100, he probably doesn't get his chance yet. But actually, he was the second highest wicket taker in the entire comp last season, 18 wickets in 7 games, tied with Taz Ali. And it's one of those where I know the Brains Trust at Leicestershire were almost surprised by just how well they did. They knew he was a good young player, but actually that's him saying, I'm putting my hand up. I'm going to play for you in the Championship. I'm going to play in the Blast. And he's done so to decent effect. As this time, Revis has got across, and for the first time tonight, he's got hold of one. Revis superb in the tie at Chesterfield and the win against Durham on Friday night for Yorkshire. He's had a look at a few, but he's decided that's the one that's got to go. Very high and very long. 161 for 3, so it's the big over Yorkshire needed after a few quiet ones. It concedes 16.
I said it at the start of the over. It was a huge over. You've got your last over from a young 19-year-old who speaks so highly of him. However, today it's not quite landed for him today. Then 2 wides proved costly in the last 2 deliveries, and he gets 44 from his 4 deliveries. But that point on the Metrobank is so key, Michael. I think cricket's such a sport where you can't quite sub someone on for 10 minutes. In terms of football, you see a lot of people debuting much earlier with last 10 minutes of dead rubber games. But in cricket, 11 players take the field.
Well, apart from the IPL, of course. So that's cracked down the ground from Live for 4. This is really smart because long on is out, mid off is up, so he knows he has to go a little bit inside out. Live. He's on to 96. He made 97 here against Gloucestershire. He's 1 boundary away.
Over pitch, first ball. How many times have we seen that from Adam Live, putting the first ball the over for 4? Pressure right on Ben Green here, as you say, 1 hit away from the magical 3 figures.
It's a full toss, and Live, well, it's been a curious innings in a sense that almost every full toss he's got, he's only managed to hit most for a single. He's putting his hands in there almost as if to apologise to the crowd for not giving them what they want. And yet, obviously, he's hit so many glorious shots, 12 fours, 3 sixes.
It's going to mess up a few statisticians' beehive of where to bowl to him.
Yeah,
it's going
to be someone turning
shin
up
high full toss.
Thinking, you know what, the ball to bowl to.
Some poor overseas player is going to read that and not understand that that's not going to work every week.
It's an anomaly from a sample. As Revis this time just drops his bat on that for 1. Live on 97 then. For all he's had this incredible T20 career.
Ben Green racing to the top of his mark. They must be close to cut-off time. They have 5 minutes to bowl 9 deliveries.
Ooh, yeah.
Of course, the cut-off time is for the last over.
Final over.
Absolutely.
Live on 97. Ball tossed down the ground. Could be gone. No, it's gone for 6. It's a second career T20 100 for Adam Live. He brings it up with his 4th maximum to go with 13 fours. Back in 2017, he made 161 here against Northants. He fell just short earlier on this season with 97 in a losing cause against Gloucestershire. This is one of the very best from one of Yorkshire and Whitby's finest. A look up to the heavens to drink in the moment and all the applause, which he rightly deserves. What a knock from Adam Live. 103 off 55 balls. He has scored 60-odd% of the runs in the innings.
Incredible.
It's Live.
Absolutely incredible.
Paddle it through.
You know, a man of this career. He's been such a key man for Yorkshire for 20 years, and the desire to keep going, the desire to keep getting better at cricket. Anyone can only look up to this man.
That's a full toss. Help yourself. Live does get that one away. We've just been mentioning an irony of this innings is that he hadn't really put away any of the full tosses, but this one does get what it deserves.
Yeah, Adam Live not missing out on that after getting 100. But as I was saying, I don't think it's don't think it's unfair to say Adam Lyth is one of the best, if not the best, Yorkshire player to play domestically for this great county.
And that wagon wheel just shows how dangerous he is. He can punish you in all sorts of different directions.
You know, he often speaks about how his red ball game helps his white ball game, and it's an extension of his red ball game. You'll see that within his innings. He keeps his shape, plays proper cricket shots, and finds the boundary with ease.
So the last 2 overs have both gone for exactly 16. Davey on for the penultimate over, the final over of the innings from the Howard stand end. And his first ball is a really good slow ball that Revis was about 2 business days early on. So Matthew Revis has to go for 13 off 9, 1 big 6, but not quite his day with the bat, and able to continue his outstanding form. 177 for 4.
Yeah, it's a job he has to do. 2 overs left. Just on this time, it's right on the wide line, just cannot quite get his weight through it to hit it straight enough. But as AJ Ty is brought out to the crease, Sam Whiteman just dropping down the over ever so slightly, as we may see Fahim Ashraf joining him afterwards as well.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised by this. So Whiteman was actually the first ever Yorkshire cricketer to be retired out of an innings on Friday night when he made 12 of 17. AJ Ty has had a great blast coming in situations like this. 32 not out of 13 in the winning run chase against Derbyshire and 44 off 17 against Hampshire. His 2 best. And I was just about to say, he tends to like to try and launch down the ground. And as promised...
I mean, that is probably one of the worst results for that delivery. You know, you speak about getting bat on ball, and that all that really means is, yes, put it away if it's a bad ball, but if you get a ball that's not quite there, you've got to get a bat on it and get Adam Lyth down the other end. The bloke's on 107 not out from 57 deliveries, so a swing and a miss at this stage.
The worst of all worlds.
And it's a wicket first ball, but more importantly, it's a dot as well as a wicket. So two effective dots to start the over.
Slower ball. Lyth will not get back on strike because they'll come back for 2. He's had, as mentioned, a very good blast as a pinch hitter tie. He also got 10 off 3 away at Derbyshire at Chesterfield, and he got 16 off 8 against Lancs, which I know they're small scores, but again it demonstrates he's had this ability to come out and right from ball 1 go at 2 a ball, and Yorkshire need a bit of that magic here. Tie.
And also what's really interesting for me is obviously Fahim Ashraf came out before AJ Ty on Friday when Whiteman was tired. But looking towards this short side, we have a left-hander and a right-hander. Fahim, left-handed batter, would mean that both batters for this penultimate over would be hitting towards the long side. So I think Anthony McGrath down there has sent out the right-hander ahead of the left-hander to access this leg side for this specific over.
Again, it's another lovely change-up from Davey. Frustration for Ty, but all credit to Davey. He's using every ounce of his extensive experience, both at international and domestic level. On the time here as well, because Leicestershire racing for that cut-off time.
1 more minute, and they have to be ready to bowl the over.
Ty once more can't make contact, but it's managed to get through Cox, and it will run away for a very handy bonus 4 byes. 183 for 4 then, just 2 off the over on Davies' figures, who also picked up that wicket. And there's just 1 over left for Yorkshire to try and get past 200 as...
Davey there has just looked as if he's pulled a calf as the left.
Yeah,
you see him hopping away. The physio does come onto the pitch as we hit cut-off time now. So it's interesting what the umpires are going to do here, because they are not ready to bowl this last over. And you see Ben Green waving his arms around towards the umpire. I think the umpire is telling him he's missed the time.
Yeah, Neil Pratt passing that information on. Pratt, the umpire at the striker's end.
As Davey is coming off the field now, that is not a good sign for a cricket fan, but most importantly for a Leicester fan. He's been so key in all formats for Leicester, and he's been exceptional with the ball. 1 for 23 from 4 overs, going under a run of ball at Headingley, when, as we mentioned earlier, 210 is an average winning score here. And that has really put Leicester in a good position going into this last over. 183 on the board.
I guess the only tiny consolation if you're Leicestershire is that Davies done it now with the very last ball of his spell. And he's, of course, much better known for his exploits with the ball than with the bat. So you'd never want an injury, but if there was a time and a way to get it...
Last of his spell.
Yeah, exactly. But
as we do see 5 in the ring for this last over, how costly could this be? Josh Hull running in away from us to Adam Lyth.
Ive has, first up, got this away to the east stand using that wind. That's a perfect start to the final over for Adam Lyth, who's on to 1-1-3.
With no complaints from Ben Green about having 5 in the ring for this one. Cannot set a field to Adam Lyth's slug sweep. 113 not out of 58 deliveries. He has been absolutely outstanding with the bat, Adam Lyth. Second career 100 in T20 format. As we watch that again, that is just a glorious shot. We see it off the spinners and he can do it off the seamers as well.
The other thing that does slightly surprise me from a tactical viewpoint, Hull, none for 14 off 2 in the power play, but he's not going to bowl out here, of course. This will be his third over, but they've left 1 over from one of their key points of difference in strike bowls on the table, Leicestershire. And I don't quite fully understand why. I mean, you know, he really does give you something, Hull. Oh, Lyth lucky. Well, he's earned the right to be lucky today. He actually nicked one off Hull right at the top of the innings for 4, and it's a bit of a carbon copy.
Yeah, interesting you mentioned that. Ben Green choosing not to go to himself, having bowled 3 overs for 35 at 11.67 an over, and Josh Hull only going for 7s, 2 overs for 14 in the power play as well. So Ben Green, personally, I think it's great captaincy, giving it to a young player, having that confidence. But you know, these first 2 balls have gone for 10, whether it's fortunate or not, and he's under real pressure. Adam Lyth, 117 not out, 4 balls left.
Well, that was it. A decent change up from Lyth, but it still might go for 4. It will, in fact, be cut off by Travaskis. It sounds an odd thing to say when it's a tall, you know, almost 7-foot bowler with that massive release point, but he kind of beat Lyth in the flight there.
Yeah, good change up. Something he maybe wasn't expecting. When bowlers typically get hit for boundaries, tend to want to go quicker and beat them for pace, especially as spinners as well. You don't often see someone flighting it up after being hit for a boundary. So clever from Josh Hull. Still 2 runs from it though, so 12 from the first 3 deliveries. Looking to extend that, Adam Lyth.
Ooh, he's got that all wrong, Hull. Well, Lyth is running down the track for a second thinking, can I hit this? Of course, the laws have changed not too long ago, meaning that he can't. I remember Jonathan Trott doing it once, and there was a ball off Phil Tufnell back in the day that was swatted to the boundary.
Might I suggest that Josh Hull was bowling a change-up there, and he might have just got the grip wrong. And if that had have hit the stumps, it'd have been interesting there, because I'm pretty sure AJ tried to be out of his crease, but I'm sure Ben Green would not have appealed. 3 balls left.
Flicked away, poor ball from Hull. Help yourself stuff with this field, and Hull isn't learning, and the fielding restrictions as well are costing Leicestershire. And Yorkshire, who looked at one point like 200, felt a bit of a stretch away, are actually surely going to get past it now.
Yeah, and that has hurt them. Not getting to the cut-off time, missing it by about 30 seconds, but it's been costly in 4 runs. And at a ground where Yorkshire knocked it off with 1 ball left, 4 runs feels precious. As much as we've got 200 runs on the board now, 4 runs is a lot in a run chase. It's 1 less boundary you have to get away, so it's under pressure here, Josh Hull, as he's running against us again, away from us, sorry.
Down the ground from Lyth. They've got to come back for 2 at this stage of the innings. And Lyth scampers home. Still a whippet as much as he ever was when he needs to be, Adam Lyth. His second T20 career 100 today. 38 years young. And 200 up for Yorkshire with just the 1 ball left.
Yeah, great running. Almost helped him that he mishit it. It meant that Long On had to charge in and opted to go for Adam's end because he had a slower start than AJ Ty, who was backing up and read the situation well that Adam Lyth needs to face this last ball, so was willing to probably sacrifice his own wicket at the non-striker's end there. So we see the last ball of Yorkshire's innings. It's Josh Hull to Adam Lyth.
Has smoked this towards the east stand for 6. An emphatic end to the innings. An emphatic knock from Adam Lyth. He carries Yorkshire past 200 and a bit of change on top. 207 for 4, a second career T20 ton for one of Whitby's favourite sons. Live finishes on 131 not out of 63 balls, and across the innings he scored 63% of the runs in it. Goodness knows where Yorkshire might be without him. On this high scoring ground, you'd say they're up in and around par as he's mobbed by his teammates. 207 for 4 posted by the White Rose.
I'm running out of things to say for Adam Live. Absolutely exceptional. What a servant to Yorkshire County Cricket Club. The absolute definition of a loyal one-man club. Does absolutely everything. And where would we be?
One club man.
One club man, there you go.
Said one-man club, although I know what you mean.
Yeah, one club man. Where would we be without him? He's been absolutely imperious at the top of the order, all 3 formats. And the fact he hasn't played more for England is absolutely beyond me. He has been arguably the best all-format opener in the county game for, in my opinion, the last 10 years. He has been absolutely exceptional, Michael.
Of course, has never played a T20I for England. So 208 to win for Leicestershire, who will be of the mind to think that that is still only about a par score on this pitch. Rehan Ahmed, superb into the team with him not being needed by England. 3 for 33 from his 4. We'll be back in not too long with the run chase. There's also the Vertu bullseye challenge to keep an eye out on in the interval.
Hello, Headingley. We are back with the Vertu Bullseye Challenge. So thank you to everybody who scanned the QR code to get their chance to enter. And we have our lucky entrants that got picked out from the people that had entered. So today I have
Johnny from Halifax.
Johnny from Halifax. It's lovely to meet you, Johnny. And yourself?
I'm Anne from Halifax.
And Anne from Halifax. So two Halifaxes today. So guys, just a quick recap of the game itself. What we have is our Vertu target on here, which is the bullseye. We have 1 point for the outer ring if your ball managed to land in the outer ring. In the middle ring, it's 5 points, and for the bullseye itself, it's 10 points. So, without further ado, Johnny, if you want to take your chance first, you've got 5 chances. So, come on, Headingley, if we can get behind him, give Johnny a big cheer if that's okay. Excellent, right. If you stand here, this is perfect, thank you very much, and on we go. It's a good start, some good pace. Oh, he's just missed out on that one. He's on the board. Oh, I'm going to give that's a 5 points, it's a strong one. Oh, 1 point for that one, so 6. 1 more point. And another point, so it's not quite the 25 that's at the top of the leaderboard at the moment, but it's still points on the board. Well done, Johnny. And over to yourself, Anne. Yep. Excellent. And off we go. It's quick, she's gone for the speedy technique. She's on the board. It's 5 points, well done, Anne. And it's a bullseye, it's a 10 points, well done. Amazing, well fantastic, at least not the 25 points. Don't be disappointed because we've still got points on the board. Thank you so much for taking part, and we shall see you later on. Thank you. Thank you for everybody who's watching at home as well on the Vertu live stream, and we wish Yorkshire all the very best for the second innings.
Welcome back to Headingley. A key hour and a half or so in Yorkshire's Vitality Blast campaign awaits. One for Leicestershire as well. Leicestershire are effectively playing knockout cricket here. They've got to win 4 games from 4, almost certainly, to get through to the knockouts. As for the White Rose, the equation is a little less harsh for them. 2 wins from 3 would guarantee progression. 1 win from 3 might mean it gets a little bit squeaky bum time with other potential results. Of course, there's a Lancashire away game at Old Trafford coming up next Friday. And then it's Nottinghamshire at home here next Sunday, the 12th of July, to round things off. Great to have Noah Kelly back in the comms box for the run chase. Stephen Eskenazi and Rishi Patel out there to begin it against Hassan Ali from the Howard Stand end.
Good afternoon. Good evening. Is it afternoon or evening?
I think we're sort of betwixt and between, aren't we? Eskenazi back into the Foxes lineup and starting by working that away for one. One of three changes, Eskenazi, Davey and Hull coming in. Brings on to strike Patel, who's recently been announced is leaving Leicestershire at the end of the season. He's talked quite a bit about the fact that the club has given him an ability to believe in himself across his time there. Was glowing about his time with the Foxes. Intriguing to see where he goes, of course. He's hitting that hard, but straight at cover.
Yeah, great player, Rishi. I played a little bit with him in Melbourne for a under-21s team, which sounds weird because Rishi is not under-21, but you were allowed 3 over-21s, and the head coach of the team was Ian Holland. So you managed to get him, Rishi Patel, in for a game. Ian did not play himself, but me and Rishi opened the batting for that team. So, yeah, swings and roundabouts.
Ali this time has Patel just pushing out to extra cover. He's having a very good season. He's the club's top red ball run scorer, 164 in the draw against Surrey, where Leicestershire were not far off forcing a win. He scored almost 600 red ball runs. He's not quite found that form in T20. He's got 139 runs at an average of 17, going at a strike rate of 125%. Oh, that's gone. That's gone in the slot, and Patel all too happy to take advantage. Shorter side with the wind, and it's caught in the crowd.
Great technique in the crowd. Logan Van Beek was speaking about it earlier, catching it nice and high. He's taking it right above the shoulders. Hassan there, just on this occasion, coming too straight onto Rishi Patel. Potential with a slow ball there, without a replay, I'm not too sure, but deposited nicely and deposited for 6.
It's a good response from Hassan Ali, probably, well, I'd say best known, but certainly very well known for being a driving force in Pakistan, winning the Champions Trophy. Did a great episode, actually. It was filmed in the indoor centre here at Yorkshire of the Beard Before Wicket podcast. It was Hassan Ali, Moeen Ali and Ubaid Haroon. That's well worth a listen to. But Moeen Ali was talking glowingly about the impact Hassan's had as an overseas here at Yorkshire. As Patel has got this down the ground. It's a baseball-style looking shot. It's a second 6 of the over. 13 without loss after 1.
Great intent from Rishi Patel. Not necessarily a bad ball there from Hassan, but Rishi just stands tall, stays in his crease, and hits it cleanly for 6 as we see Johnny opting for his helmet on. So the left arm spin courtesy of Dan Moriarty coming on early in the second over. Often bowls in the power play here, has a good record in the power play at Headingley, and someone that Johnny Bairstow has turned to over the past couple of years.
Yeah, and he's had to earn his spot in this Yorkshire team. He came into the 7th game in the Blast. One spectator isn't appreciating being caught out by our camera team. Look, there's no shame in enjoying a good bit of refreshment and ice cream on a day at the cricket. I don't know what the opposite of our oblivious cam that we do is, but it's that, the embarrassed cam. Here's Moriarty. He took 3 for 27 in that win, in the win for Hampshire against Yorkshire away, and he picked up James Vince and Liam Dawson. That's a well-judged quick single, despite the efforts of Hassan Ali, who has got a run out in the Blast with almost an identical one of that. He ran out Ollie Robinson with a direct hit in the game at Durham. He's very sharp in at mid-on.
We change of field here for Rishi. Long on. It's gone back, and Matty Revis at deep cow corner has come in. Rishi is a tall player, likes to hit down the ground, so this will be a good matchup for both parties here.
Back of a length from Moriarty and an obvious bit of turn on a pitch that is a little bit used. It had those 2 T20s on it on Friday. Does bring the spinners into it a little bit more. That's back of a length, and how has that missed? That's gone through everything. 4 byes.
It's a really good bit of ball, and I think any young spinners out there who are keen on getting better at the shortest format is still being able to spin the ball. You know, Dan's bowling the second over of the game, but he's not firing it into the pads. He's not taking away something that is his biggest strength. Of actually, he's coming up and down on the ball, and he's getting drop, and he's getting spin, and it's deceived Rishi now on 2 occasions. So if you're watching at home, you don't have to bowl fast and into the wicket. You can still turn the ball in T20s.
Moriarty again on a nice length. It's not picked up cleanly by Ty, but won't cost them any more than the single that it looked like they got anyway. Moriarty, top wicket taker in this competition back in 2020 when Surrey were runners-up. Spent the winter more recently in Caulfield in the Victorian sub-district competition. That's down the ground. It's not quite timed. He didn't quite get to the pitch of the ball here, Eskenazi, but he will get 4. It's a positive shot. He knew the mid-off is up in the ring. 23 without loss then. And Eskenazi back in the Foxes lineup gets his first 4 of the day.
Yeah, clean strike again. Moriarty, 6 from his first 5.
That's short and has managed to get that just wide of backward point. So back-to-back boundaries to finish the over. Well, Eskenazi has cut that from a good foot or 2 outside leg and has managed to get it in the gap. So 27 without loss after 2.
Yeah, from what started as a really nice over from Dan, just it shows the importance of getting out your over as well. 2 boundaries off the last 2 deliveries. Will be disappointed with that. Dan, as we see, P. Marshaf bowling his first over of the match, replacing Hassan Ali at the Howard stand end.
Fahim, who thus far in the Blast has a best performance of 1 for 7 off 2 in the away win against Durham. Took 1 for 22 off 3 here on Friday, was very good. So that's slightly skewed off the outside edge of Patel's bat away for 1. Rishi Patel, who said about leaving Leicestershire, time flies, the 6 years have passed quickly, countless unforgettable moments. This club will always hold a special place in my memories. We've got 3 months to keep fighting, and I'll be trying my best to keep the club in Division 1 and win the 50 Over Cup and make some great memories while doing so. I feel that now's the right time for me to move on at this stage in my career, though it's a tough decision. Short, pulled out to deep square leg. Of course, after June the 1st, the period that we're in now is when the county cricket transfer market tends to become a hive of activity.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be many counties who are interested in Rishi. He'll be taking his time. Obviously understands that he maybe needs a change of environment, potentially in a player. Sees himself maybe better in at another club, but I think from what he's spoken there, Leicester's been absolutely awesome to him, and he's been awesome for Leicester, so I think the parting on very good terms.
Ashraf this time is belted. All power from Patel. Goes wide of mid-off and gets 4.
Again, Rishi Patel using all of his height. 6 foot plus, standing tall, slightly back of a length, but gets a clean bat swing through the ball and lifts it over wide mid-off and gets away to the boundary. We mentioned it earlier about the split field. Can be hard at times to know where to bowl, and at the minute we're getting a little bit too straight, a touch full, and getting hit down the ground.
Voice of Yorkshire batter Noah Kelly is Fahim Ashraf. Tries to find a breakthrough for the home side, but that is help yourself stuff, and Patel helps himself by sending it into the crowd. So Patel looks in fine fettle. He's got 24 off 11.
Doesn't he just look good here? Rishi Patel. Another clean strike as Will Lux is brought in from the deep backward point. Boundary and long on is going out. So change of field now. 2 out on the leg side. Deep square long on. And a ring on the offside. Can he get out of these last 2 balls? 12 off it already.
Makes room, Patel, and that is even bigger. Almost a carbon copy, but another 10 metres or so back. Plenty of catching practice for the crowd today with Rishi Patel in town. And the last 3 balls have gone into or over the boundary.
This is danger now for Yorkshire. It's not often you see a 6 go over long on, the fielder gets put out, and the batter goes, you know what, I'm feeling that good, I'm going to go for it again. No matter if you've put a man out. And he's done just what he wanted. Straight over long on's head. As you say, 18 from 5 deliveries. Got to close this out now.
This has gone a long way up, but it's over the head of Moeen Ali at short fine leg. If you're going to swing, swing hard. He's looking to go more over the head of square leg, trying to access that shorter boundary in the wind, but the result is pretty similar. So 51 without loss of 3. Plenty of thinking for the White Rose to do. Lovely striking from Patel. The over goes for 22. That last ball did go for 4. 49 for 3 then. 49 without loss after 3. Beg your pardon.
Wish it was 49 for 3 from a Yorkshire point of view. But as we see, Johnny Tattersall there in the crowd with a cap on, grey hoodie, watching on his new teammates this year, Leicester, against his former, the White Rose, who has suffered a hamstring injury, but should be back in the next couple of weeks, I've been informed.
Ty's first ball is just nerdled away. Tattersall from Harrogate, of course, it feels like a long time ago, but he captained Yorkshire to promotion in that 2024 County Championship season and moved on loan to Leicestershire at the back end of last season before making that permanent.
And smart from Eskenazi, that. Just getting off strike and allowing Rishi Patel continue the momentum.
Oh, this has gone very, very, very high. Hassan Ali makes no mistake. Well, that's an enormous early breakthrough for Yorkshire. Patel had looked very, very dangerous for his 34 or 13. 50 for 1. AJ Ty makes the difference.
Yeah, he was timing it sweetly up until that point. Rishi Patel, that one on this occasion, a bit more extra bounce. He's tried to go over mid-on again and gone against the bounce, slightly back of a length. Clever bowling that from AJ Ty. And it's a huge wicket. Rishi was looking very dangerous, but it also brings a very dangerous batter to the crease in Ryan Ahmed. Already had a huge impact today. 3 wickets from his 4 overs, doing exactly what Leicester needed as a leg spinner. Being brought into the team on late notice, not originally in the matchday squad, so very nice surprise for Leicester fans at home, but he'll be looking to put his marker down on this side of the game as well.
I bet he can't wait to have a bat on this. 3 for 33 with the ball. He was Fox's best bowler. Little nick, and he's dropped by Bairstow. Well, that was almost traditional red ball stuff. In the corridor, bit of movement. And from the very first ball he faces, Ryan Ahmed gets a life. And of all the batters Yorkshire wouldn't have wanted to give a life to in this Leicestershire Foxes lineup, Ryan Ahmed would be right up there.
Yeah, they're always tough bottom right corner, but a lifeline for Rayan first ball.
He still stuck on 0 off 2. Started out at Thoresby Colliery. CC then has played for the Cavaliers and Carrington in Nottingham. Bilal Shafayat, another name from back in the day, also played for them. Originally a seam bowler, but he switched to leg spin at a young age after watching footage of Shane Warne on YouTube, and more recently, before Warne's sad passing, was actually mentored by Warne for a bit. Ahmed respects what is another good ball from Ty. So this is an over that's totally changed the power play dynamic.
Yeah, we often speak about momentum. It's a key word in T20 cricket. And Rishi Patel dragged the momentum for Leicester, and AJ Ty's just grabbing it slightly back. However, Rehan, because of Patel, has got the licence. Just have a look at the ball. The run rate required is now dropped below 10 and over, so it's more than okay for Rehan to have a first few dot balls, but shows a bit of frustration there, kicks the turf, and AJ Ty finishes off an absolutely superb over. 1 wicket, 1 run from his first over, and brings momentum right back into Yorkshire's favour.
Well, I've got Noah Kelly alongside me, of course, part of this Yorkshire squad, albeit currently out injured, so maybe the perfect person to ask. Who would you rather be in charge of the road trip tunes? Adam Live, Matty Revis, Dan Moriarty, Fahim Ashraf. Who's your DJ out of those 4?
Not sure Adam Live. I'd go Dan Moriarty on the point that he'd be very inclusive of the tunes. He'd allow everyone to make requests.
All gone! Steps too far across. Eskenazi has his stumps made a mess of by Hassan Ali, who yet again shows his class, the Pakistani international. He's been superb for Yorkshire this season. And the returning Eskenazi back into the Foxes lineup goes for just 12, 50 for 2 wickets in 7 balls for Yorkshire.
Bang, bang. Often say in any form of cricket, 2 wickets together is huge for the fielding side. That occasion, Hassan Ali full and straight. Eskenazi looking to be innovative, looking to take on short, fine leg, and on this time, I believe gets his head outside the line of the stumps and falling away, and is not in a great position to judge the line of that ball. But 2 new batters to the crease, absolutely huge. You feel this is a big partnership for Leicester, this. Kiwi overseas, Rehan Ahmed recently in the England squads. Now, they're in a good position run-wise, but this is going to be two key wickets for Yorkshire, this. Johnny Bairstow there signalling to Hassan about getting a slip in play. And that is exactly what they're doing, Moeen Ali into slip. This is experience from Johnny Bairstow, understands that they need another wicket to really break this through. So they're not scared in the 5th over, having already conceded 50 runs to put in a slip. So great signs of aggression if you're a Yorkshire fan.
Nick Kelly recently captaining New Zealand in a T20 international. And he's off the mark there. Kelly, who is having a great blast. 242 runs, an average just a tickle over 40, strike rate of 121 per 100 balls. Left-handed overseas. Born in St Kilda, Melbourne, actually, but very much a Kiwi. Played for Northern Districts, Otago and Wellington as well. He'll be the one of these two, I think, that will just sit a little bit more. Rehan will be the naturally more aggressive, as he demonstrates there. Bludgeoned, take that down the ground to Hassan Ali. It almost went for 6.
Yeah, he's a man that doesn't seem like he takes pressure. He doesn't feel the pressure, should I say. He absorbs it and transfers it back onto the bowler. 4-dot balls, doesn't matter, I'm going to bang you back down the ground. And a little stare from Hassan Ali as he was walking back to his mark, and neither of these two characters are going to back down, so it could be some interesting viewing for his next few deliveries if he stays on strike.
Yeah, he's someone who loves a battle, who loves a contest, Hassan Ali. He said on the Beard Before Wicket podcast that I referenced in his earlier over that he's not angry, but he's passionate. That's the way that he put it. He said, I'm Punjabi, I'm Judd, which he described as a level of natural aggression, but it's more passion for the contest. One of the game's great characters, one of the world's most watchable bowlers on so many levels, including the celebrations. That's a good bumper from Hassan Ali. Moeen Ali actually had a big role in Hassan joining Yorkshire. He recommended Yorkshire to sign him. They played together at Warwickshire. Moeen said, he's the perfect overseas, deaf bowling, new ball, can bowl in the middle, can bat, good in the field, great with the team environment. That's what you want.
I think from a Yorkshire's point of view, to see someone who's come in just for a couple of months' time and to show the passion he has via his celebrations, it's really good to see that he puts everything into his time here.
And flicking this away, someone that uses his wrists really well to access points to the ground others might not be able to, and it's those wrists that have helped that get wide of square leg. So end of the over, and it finishes with a boundary. The scoreboard will catch up in due time. I can assure you, definitely did go over the rope. 59 for 2 off 5. Should have taken 2 wickets in the last 2 overs, and they've conceded just 10.
Good momentum grab. There's no shock to see AJ continuing after bowling 1 for 1 from his first over. Johnny trusting him to close out the power play, which is another key over from both teams' point of view, really.
So much on the line here. Leicestershire lose, they're pretty much out. Yorkshire win. They consolidate that place in the top 2 of the North Group. Straight at mid-off from Kelly. I've got a quiz question for all of you at home, including Noah Kelly alongside me, who's a bit of a badger. So Adam Live has now scored Yorkshire's 2 highest ever individual T20 scores. But there's been 8 other T20 hundreds scored by a Yorkshire player that are not Live's 2. It's been 10 in total. So that's straight at cover, gone. Well, that's a soft dismissal. Second wicket for AJ Tye, but Nick Kelly will be furious with himself. Didn't really commit to going hard and down or up and over. And it's 3 quick wickets in succession for Yorkshire. 59 for 3, Kelly gone for 1.
Yeah, I didn't know what he was going to do with that, whether he kept it on the floor or get it over, and in the end it's a fairly simple catch for Fahim Ashraf at cover. He'll be delighted to take the catch. As you see there on the screen, Moeen just having a chat with Johnny, possibly speaking about when they're going to use spin, himself or Jaffa or Dan Moriarty, but another key wicket. We always say this last over the power play is huge. Can make or break this middle overs, which we'll see a lot of spin.
Ashton Turner, incredibly dangerous player. So, that question, 8 T20 hundreds scored by Yorkshire players that aren't Adam Live. Those 800s have been scored by 5 players. Who are the 5?
I think I've got 2 in my mind. 3.
Oh, that's fantastic from Tye, and it's nicked by Turner. Tye's got his fellow experienced Australian, and Ashton Turner, the gun overseas, has to go 59 for 4 then. 2 wickets in 2 balls and 4 wickets in the space of just 9 runs for Yorkshire. AJ Tye is on fire. He's got 3 for 1.
Incredible. The game flips on its head when you take wickets in T20 cricket, and that's exactly what he's done. He's hit a hard length, a little bit of movement, a little bit of extra bounce, and Turner goes first ball. Pretty conventional wicket. AJ Tye's on a roll, 3 for 1, and he is on a hat-trick.
So out to the wicket comes Ben Cox. Of course, if this was a championship game, this is where people would be suggesting all sorts of absurd fields, have half the team running off to get a helmet and getting close. I don't think it will quite be that with it being a T20, but there's a couple of catches in play now, maybe, it seems. Cox, who was key in Worcestershire, winning the Blast under Moeen Ali's captaincy back in 2018. Was the player of the match in both the semi-final and the final when he got a match-winning 46 against Sussex. So he is someone that's very capable in pressure moments like this. Hat-trick ball for AJ Tye. Crowd already getting into the spirit of it. Fox just taking his time, trying to keep his heart rate nice and low. Wouldn't blame him for having a few nerves. Only 10 minutes or so ago, Leicestershire were none down and sitting pretty. How quickly it can change in T20. And it looks like they are getting a second catcher in for the hat-trick ball. You love to see it. So first and a second slip. Almost Red Bull vibes with that. Hat-trick ball for AJ Tye against Ben Cox. Turn round the corner for Cox to get himself off the mark.
Do you want me to give an answer for the T20s?
Yeah, go for it. I sense if there's anyone that would be pretty good at this, you'd be right up there.
I've got...
So for those, just to remind you of the question, there's 5 players who aren't Adam Live who've hit T20 centuries for Yorkshire. Who are the 5?
So definitely Johnny Bester. He scored one last year against
He's got 3.
Lancashire. James Wharton versus Worcestershire on this very ground in 2024.
Very good. Currently out injured, of course. With finger injury.
David Willey, I remember getting one.
Yep.
And that's the extent of my list at the minute.
Straight at short fine. They'll pick up 1.
Don't recall anyone else in the last few years scoring, so might have been a little bit
Yeah,
of time
I'll give you
ago.
a clue. You're going a way back. I mean, for the 21-year-old Noah Kelly. 20. There we go. 20-year-old Noah Kelly. They weren't quite scored before you were born, but you really were the nipperest of nippers. You were very young. Cox again just works it for 1. These two rebuilding after the batting collapse.
Yeah, I'm stumped. I don't know for the last 2.
We'll see if the man about to replace you on commentary might have a better shout. End of the over. Noah Kelly takes a well-deserved break for a few overs and settling in alongside me once more, I'm delighted to say, is Logan van Beek. I'll give you guys a secondary clue. So we're looking for the 5 players who aren't Adam Live, who've hit T20 tons for Yorkshire. We've got Willie, Bairstow and Wharton. These two are both players of high repute, overseas players who played for Yorkshire quite a long time ago. Any names come to mind?
None. No, I haven't. Johnny Bairstow was obviously the obvious one. David Willey, I remember that one. And James Wharton was the one I recall from 2024. But no, my lack of Yorkshire before 2020 is leaving me.
To be fair, if you're playing along at home and you got either of them, I'll be impressed as well. We'll give you the answers after this ball. Jaffa Trahan, magnificent on Friday night, back into the team with 3 for 30. He's on here. We saw with Rayan Ahmed the difference good leg spin can make. It's a good diving stop from Moeen Ali in the covers. He said to me recently in an interview that the thing he finds hardest about playing these days is fielding. Well, he was down very sharply there. He's doing his best impression of Jordan Pickford. The England fans will hope will be similarly diligent much later on this evening with a much bigger ball in that World Cup last 16 against Mexico. So that's inside out. Didn't really get hold of it at all, Rehan. Plinks away for one. The others two have hit a T20 century for Yorkshire. Ian Harvey, the Australian all-rounder, hit 2 for Yorkshire, both here against Lancashire in 2004, Derbyshire in 2005, and Herschel Gibbs against Northants, away at Northants back in 2010. So a fair old time ago. Good flight from Jaffa Trahan. Dilemma here for these two, isn't it? Big total on the board to chase. You've just lost 4 quickly. You can't sit in for too long.
No, exactly. It's Ray and Coxie. They don't really have much time to kind of muck around. The great thing about batting second, though, is that you've got a run rate required, and that pretty much sets the tone.
Lovely battle here. Trahan to Rehan. Two players who you could easily see in the not too distant future bowling in tandem for England in the right game, the right conditions that suit them both being in the side. And quite few see Rehan as the natural replacement for Stokes in the test team, as Rehan will get at least 1 here.
It's almost the battle within the battle. You know, you've got Jaffa, who's getting a lot of bowling for Yorkshire, spins it both ways, very hard to pick. He's got experience in the BBL, he's playing all around the world, and very much picked as a main wrist spinning option, whereas Ray's more that all-rounder type, probably seen as more as a batting all-rounder.
Trahan goes much quicker and flatter to finish off an excellent over from the home side's point of view. So 7 gone, and it's 67 for 4 off 7. AJ Ty with 3 for 4 off 2. This is one of those classic captain's dilemmas. Ty's running hot. Do you keep him on? Do you bowl him through? Do you bowl him out?
I think if he was a nasty fasty, I would bowl him out. But I think the way that AJ Ty's main skill is at the death, and you want to keep those 2 overs at the death. You know, never knowing what's going to happen in the next few overs. And just with Ben Cox and Ray trying to work out their rhythm and trying to get into this innings, you almost want to get some overs out of Dan Moriarty, out of Jaffa, and just kind of slowly creep that run rate up a little bit more, so that when they start to get a bit more antsy, then you bring in an AJ Ty with his change-ups, Hassan Ali, Faheen Ashraf.
Ty went for, Moriarty went for 10 off the second over of the innings. He's back on outside of the power play. That's a tidy start.
Johnny, throughout this Vitality Blast, has been kind of blessed with options to go to in the bowling department.
Straight at Moeen Ali. Yeah, Yorkshire have already equalled the number of wins they managed last season across a 14-game campaign, and this is match 10 so far this season. 5 wins, 3 losses, and a tie at Chesterfield. Swept, but straight at deep backward square. So this run without a boundary will continue. It's one of those where you just sense it's now 15 balls without a boundary, in which time 9 runs have scored. Something's got to give soon. Statistics would tell you you're going to see a flurry of boundaries, or you're going to see another wicket. Comes down the track looking for that boundary, Rayan Ahmed, and he finds it with one of the shots of the day. Makes room and pumps Moriarty over long off's head for 6.
The thing I love about Ray Ahmed is the carefree nature of how he plays. You know, if he decides to run down the wicket, if he decides to sweep, he does it with his full intent, full heart, and then he cleared the boundary with ease. He's one of those players that can get a boundary if he wanted to, off any ball.
Does make it look very easy. It's a joy to watch. Now goes on the reverse, and that's over the head of backward point. Well, that's 2 of the shots of the day. He's fetched that from about 3 feet outside leg on the reverse. He's got the broom out, Rayan Ahmed. It's a classy, modern cricket shot.
There's certain guys that you watch, they just hit the ball differently. And he's one guy that I've seen who does exactly that.
He's going to get 1 from the final ball of the over. He'll keep the strike, and if you're a Leicestershire fan, you're very happy about that. So 12 off the over from Moriarty. For you, Logan van Beek alongside, you've had the pleasure of being his teammate as well. Do you think that Rayan Ahmed is the natural successor to Ben Stokes in that test team? Obviously a different type of player, but gives you that balance of the team and ability to play 4 seamers.
I think he's good enough to bat in the top 6. So definitely someone that, from an all-rounder point of view, he can provide that wrist spin, be that second spin option for England. But he's someone who will definitely be in the top 6 in the future.
And starts this new over. They think there's a nick on this. Pesto took it on the juggle. Umpire Kettleborough not interested.
The challenge for Ray right now is that because of his talent, he's got an array of shots. It's almost which shot to play. Like, he can reverse, he can use his feet, he can slog sweep, and it's sometimes quite tough to know which one to do.
He's timed the heck out of that, but he's timed it straight at Moeen Ali at extra cover. It's part 2 of what is a very good battle here. Chauhan will feel like he won that first over by going for just 5. Run rate's just ticked above 11, but this is a ground where almost anything feels chaseable. And again, similar ball, similar shot.
Jaffa in his first over and as well in this over, he's just gone a little bit quicker in the air, not giving the ball any flight, really trying to skid that ball on.
Tries to hang that a little bit too far outside the off stump, so 2 wides to the total.
I think Jaffa there probably had an instinct that Ray was going to use his feet there, so that was probably pre-planned at the top of his mark. He actually executed the ball quite well there. Just Ray didn't run down the wicket and scamper through for a 1 wide.
2 wides in the book in total, so Chauhan just spoiling the run of dots. Was it? Well, it wasn't really a catching chance. There was a smidgen of a catching chance. Moeen Ali half stops it on the bounce. Still a very good over, though, for Yorkshire, 2 off 4. Does Ahmed feel like this is the point where he's got to try and force the issue a bit? He wants to access that gap through extra cover, backing away. Just hanging it outside off stump.
That's really well bowled. Again, not giving the ball flight. He's along the tram lines. The big boundary is on the offside, and he's just keeping the ball out there and keeping them at bay. This is now 1 ball to go. I think Jaffa will do a similar thing. Ben Cox likes to sweep or reverse sweep, so I think it'll be quick in the air, nice and wide down that tram lines, get out of the over.
The ground for 1. Well, you can watch the cricket here at Headingley, or you can have the pleasure of having Logan van Beek alongside you, who will tell you what's going to happen before it happens. 84 for 4 off 9 then. What do you think? Time for Sweet Caroline?
This song. See, I'm jealous of Neil Diamond. To be able to do a concert and not have to sing a song and get paid millions for it. I know he's a little bit older now, but imagine being, going around the world to be able to have that song in in the list. You actually don't need to sing it at all. You just, the song starts. You know this one. Sing along. Where to begin?
And just let the crowd.
Do
all the hard work.
Exactly. And English people, this is a song that no matter the time of day, they get up for.
I was actually trying to think of when it first came into sport because, I might sound very, very posh because my mum was from Pontefract but made the mistake of marrying a southerner, but I'm probably the poshest sounding Castleford Tiger Super League fan you could ever meet. And they started playing it when they'd win about 10 years ago. That was one of the first times I've heard it in sport. As Ashraf is pulled out to deep square leg for one. Since then, it's kind of become quite a commonplace anthem, particularly in English sport. Of course, for the Dutch, I think the Dutch got one of the best with Der Links. That's fantastic. I mean, that's just, it's so easy for everyone to join in with. You've got the march to the ground. Orange is that great distinguishing colour. Of course, the Orange Army were here at Headingley for the game against India, as were you. Stair Callis, of course, for her, that was a bit of a home fixture. As Ashraf this time cramps Rehan for room. They want two. And even with a direct hit from Revis, they would have got home. It was good fielding. It was good cricket all round.
Fantastic running there. The run rate now, 11.3. It's still manageable, especially here at Headingley. Boundaries are kind of easy to get if you hit the ball hard. Outfield lightning. With the talent of Ray. And once Ben Cox gets going, he's truly a 360 player. And it's with only 5 fielders out, once he's going, it's hard to stop.
And again, only able to get one. Fahim Ashraf is bowling to the plan nicely. He's got everyone back on that onside, cramped the room. I mentioned Stair Callis on that note. Yorkshire's women getting a win today. If you missed it this morning, there's a live stream you can go back and have a look at. Highlights as well. Warwickshire posted 161 for 3. Abby Freeborn was 65. Holly Garton, the 17-year-old leg spinner, arguably one of the pick of the bowlers, with 1 for 33 or 4. Jess Woolston 1 for 17 or 3, and Yorkshire chased it down with 3 balls to spare. He's backing away there, Cox. Again, he's looking at that offside, but he can't access it because Ashraf has hit a nice area. There is a run out appeal, but Ahmed was home relatively comfortably. He had to get up into 4th, maybe even 5th gear in that run chase I mentioned for the Yorkshire women's team. Jess Jonathan, their ever-reliable Aussie overseas, was 65. Lauren Winfield-Hill with 42. It was their partnership of 104 that was key. Alice Clark with 15 and Sarah Glenn with 21, both not out. So Yorkshire to victory by 5 wickets with 3 balls to spare. Remember, every Yorkshire women's home game you can watch live and free here on our YouTube channel. We talked about Fahim trying to go down leg. He's got a bit too giddy with that there. But do you as a captain mind a wide like that? Because he's executing to the plan you want him to do. He's trying to do the right thing even if it didn't work.
Well, as long as Fahim's kind of pre-planned that at the top of his mark, sometimes when a batter chases or runs at you and you don't have a pre-plan of your counter to that, you can just kind of panic and just bowl a ball. So whether or not he was definitely going to go slow ball that ball, who knows? But just maybe it's a slight misexecution.
It's to Ram, and it's nicely stopped by Bairstow in his follow-through. Well, you actually just signalled to me you thought this was on.
Well, just looking at, I saw Ben Cox just look at the fine leg and noticing Jaffa's Chahal is actually quite square, and it's not a long hit. Ben Cox, one of his strong shots is the lap, and so I just had a feeling knowing that Fahim's is going hard into the wicket here with a 4 on the leg side. It's a pretty good option for Ben, knowing that square leg's quite wide. So he just missed out a little bit there.
Yeah, Cox is 11 or 13. He's not quite been at his fluent best so far. He's dumped this down the ground. It's more power than timing. Got it on top of the bounce. Revis does the fielding. He covers the ground so effortlessly, seemingly out there with all of his height. 93 for 4 then. So Ashraf goes for 9 from that one. Right now, it's Yorkshire who'll feel like they've got a squeeze on. The last 7 overs have produced 42 runs at a run a ball and 4 wickets. As per your wish not too long ago, we do get a bit of Sweet Caroline, which Western Terrace are all too happy to join in with.
Well, there's going to be a lot of English people today. It's going to be a long night with the game kicking off at 1 a.m. So what are we're looking at 4:45 here. A lot of people would have been starting. So let's see if those people are singing at 3 a.m. this morning or tomorrow morning.
I was going to say, yeah, 1 a.m. kickoff is a long, long way away. It's almost brought forward to 7 p.m. because of storms in Mexico, but it is a 1 a.m. kickoff, that one, as Chauhan starts his new over. Single down the ground. He's bowling an excellent spell here, Jaffer Chauhan, who says that he's modelled his style of leg spin on Shahid Afridi. Talked about watching a lot of YouTube videos of him as a youngster growing up.
Not sure Jeff has got the 130-kilometre ball, though, that Shahid Afridi had.
Swept hard, flat. One of the flattest sixes we've seen all day. Maybe this is the moment where Ben Cox can flick into gear. 100 up in style.
Like I said with Johnny Bairstow, maybe it's just one shot that gets you going. Ben Cox going to one of his strengths, the slog sweep. Will this get him going with that run rate still above 11s?
Chauhan largely looking to hang it outside off. That is his quicker and flatter one. This will be a single into the gap. Of course, a brilliant story as to how he came to be signed by Yorkshire. Got Joe Root and Ben Duckett out at Loughborough as an England net bowler. And luckily for England, luckily for Yorkshire, Root was a bit quicker on the draw than Duckett to ring his county and say, you need to get this guy in on trial. Had a trial at Yorkshire, and the rest, as they say, is history. Although I was actually, when working on a Lashings game the other day, Lashings is sort of a team of famous faces that play fundraising fixtures against clubs, having a long chat about Jaffer Chauhan with John Embry, legend of the game, more than 1,000 wickets in professional cricket. And he was, it's not too far away to say spitting feathers about how Middlesex lost him out of their system, how they ended up letting him go out of their system. And Yorkshire, of course, benefited extensively from that. Come through playing for Berkshire, he's also played for Saka as well. And he was. It's easy on Friday night to show, commentators often show bias towards how a game ended. You know, it's Revis that finished the game off for Yorkshire, but Chauhan's 3 for 30 probably reduces the target they're chasing by at least 20 runs.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Jaffer is one of the guys that spins the ball hard. And so, especially on a good batting surface like Yorkshire, like Headingley, you have to spin the ball hard. And just that little bit of extra turn can be the difference in terms of getting the ball caught right on the boundary or going for 6.
He's beaten Cox comprehensively in the flight. He still hasn't taken a wicket, and spinners often pride themselves on that. But he's doing an excellent containment job here. Best in the blast this season of 4 for 17 off 2.5 overs here in the win for Yorkshire against Lancashire, but he's been a consistent contributor. That 3 for 30 against Durham, 2 for 26 on the opening night at Notts. And also, it's less spoken about, but he can hit with the bat. Even down the order, he's a dangerous option. He's been described to a few people by me as one of the much stronger number 11s on the circuit. I know particularly at Saka, when he's had some games up the order, he's caused some carnage. It's another good over from Chauhan, who surely you'd think you'd bowl him out. At this point, it's gone for 21 off 3, 104 for 4 off 11.
Sticking at the run rate, Leicester, that there again, that one boundary, 6 and 5 singles still keeps them maintaining the run rate, or the run rate required. And that's what it is. It's just one boundary. These two are quick between the wickets. They get a 2 and make sure they score up every ball. Then they're going to keep on that run rate. But again, it's a very similar situation between Yorkshire and Leicester at the moment. Both similar scores at the same time.
Matthew Revis is on from the pavilion end. Hasn't bowled much in the blast this season. His first ball goes away slightly off the outside edge for 4 through backward point. That's a bit unlucky for Revis. That wasn't the gap that Cox was trying to get.
The reason Revis has come on is that Fahim Ashraf actually fielded a ball at long off just before, and he went off kind of holding his thumb. So hopefully he's okay. And we're down there with the physio, so Revis having to kind of make up one of his overs.
It's wide from Revis. This is only his 7th over in the Blast all season. 2 for 14 off 2 in the game away at Derbyshire at Chesterfield last time he bowled. His bowling workloads have been managed a bit since the middle of last season due to a couple of back issues he had. We're told he's in a better place with that now. This will be just one. Don Bess is on as the 12th. Bess, of course, was a key part of Yorkshire's Blast campaign last season. He's been a bit unlucky that with the signing of Moeen Ali, Chauhan and then Moriarty at the moment, can't quite find a space in the 11. Say the same in a different way, although, of course, you're a new signing about the man to my left, who might be very modest about it, but has got one hell of a T20 CV. Logan van Beek, the voice you can hear with me. Down the ground, but he didn't get all of it. And Ty coming in, takes an excellent catch. And he manages to make sure he doesn't lose it on impact when his elbows hit the turf. This is magnificent technique. Pivotal moment in the match. Rehan Ahmed, arguably Leicestershire's most dangerous batter, gone for 30 off 25. And Matthew Revis, coming on for a rare over in the Blast this season, gets the wicket. 1-1-1 for 5. It's a great bit of work in the deep from Ty.
AJ Ty has been the difference today for the Yorkshire Vikings. 3 wickets already for him, and then a fantastic catch. It was mishit by Ray, but AJ Ty had to run about 20 metres, put in the dive. He's got a great pair of hands. We've seen Matthew Revis take some fantastic catches this year. AJ Ty repaying the favour for all the efforts that Matthew Revis has put in. And that's a crucial wicket. You could just feel the momentum kind of sliding in the Foxes' favour. And now with Rehan Ahmed, the talented Rehan Ahmed out, again, they're going to have to kind of reset. And with the experience of AJ Ty still with 2 left, Hassan Ali with 2 left, and now that Revis has picked up a wicket in his first over, it's going to be a tall task.
Partnership of 52 off 36 for that 5th wicket. That pair had done the rebuilding job. They were both in and set to try and launch. Now Ben Green, the skipper, has to try and get himself going. He's often running here, Green, but he hasn't had a great blast with the bat. 50 runs at an average of 7 and a strike rate under a run a ball, albeit it's important to say within that quite often he's come in situations where there's not a lot of time left in the innings, where you don't actually have a lot of time to build, so that only tells you so much.
The main reason why Ben Green moved to Leicester permanently was to have more responsibility. He's the captain of Leicester Foxes. He's been a little bit higher now for the Foxes, and quite often, as Michael said, he comes in towards those last 3 or 4 overs and proves he's got plenty of power, but to level up his game, he needs to come in earlier, have more responsibility.
Revis gets out of the over where he's come back really well there. The first ball went for a boundary. There was, of course, a wide, so it was effectively 5 off 1, but it's 114 for 5 then at the end of the 12th. It's interesting you mentioned that with Green. Of course, he's a West Country boy, really. He's from Exeter. Went to Exeter School, product of the Devon age groups, came through the Somerset Academy, but I know Somerset were a little bit gutted to lose him a couple of loan spells in a row. It's something we alluded to in the first innings. Leicestershire are good at doing this. They get guys on loan, they come there, they enjoy it, they get a taste of the place, and eventually moving there permanently at the start of this season. And now it's his chance to step up and be a bit of a hero for them, because my goodness me, do they need it. If Leicestershire lose this, it's a 6th defeat to go with 3 wins, and they are pretty much out of the Blast with 3 games to spare.
Physio Ed has come on for Yorkshire. Just on the umpires now, they're probably discussing around Faheen Ashraf's wrapping of the tape around his bowling hands. So from my experience is that you can't have any tape on the fingers that you touch the ball. And so I think Ed's just coming on just to get a confirmation of what kind of taping. Obviously, it's got to be a darker taping, it can't be white. And again, Faheen's going to be needed towards this back end of the
Yeah, because this happened in the Test match, because New Zealand taped up Ben Sears and Will O'Rourke and then sent them back out with red tape, and England quite quickly said, yeah, we'd rather you didn't wear red tape for very obvious reasons. As Moriarty starts his third with one that bounces and spins and leaps. We've definitely seen this pitch today show that it's been used a couple of times on Friday night. It's still a batting-friendly pitch, but particularly for the spinners, you're getting extra bounce and plenty of turn if you can put the ball in the right spots. That's going to be just one through deep backward square. Required run rate is up past 2 a ball, and even in this modern era, where plenty of players, including my current co-commentator, can hit plenty of sixes, it always feels a little bit psychologically significant, doesn't it, when you get into 12s? It's almost chopped on.
Experience. Experience is the key here, knowing that a boundary or 2 boundaries now with 12 and over, the battle that the Foxes are going to have is that you've got experience plus in the bowling lineup for Yorkshire.
Away for what will be just one more. Really has been dragged back by Yorkshire when you think that it was 49 without loss after 3. At the end of the 13th, Yorkshire were 120 for 2, so Leicestershire aren't far behind where the home side were, but of course they've lost 5 wickets compared to just the couple that the White Rose had. When you think Yorkshire finished the innings very, very strong. The last 4 overs of the Yorkshire innings produced 59 runs as Adam Live went ballistic. So Leicestershire needs someone to go and match that. Oh, Moriarty trying to defend that short side, just pushed it too far across. You can understand why, though.
It's unfortunate for Moriarty. He bowled a fantastic over there. Just needed to get out of the over. Ben Cox feeling the pressure of only 3 singles off the over. Try to go for that favoured slog sweep. But again, this over's gone quickly. Run rate's moving up.
Moriarty's best over of the day, so 120 for 5 off 13. And the last 2 overs have produced 16 runs and a wicket as Leicestershire have reined things back as Logan van Beek takes a well-earned break. Thanks very much to Dutch international for all of his time and insight across the 2 middle overs periods in this game. And back alongside me is Noah Kelly for one that is shaping up to be an exciting finish. Just advantage Yorkshire at the moment?
Yeah, you'd say so, yeah. 5 wickets left, 7 overs. Needing 88 it's going to be a big task for Leicester. I think I heard you say there when I was sat down there that you need someone to take the reins, so to speak, for Leicester and really take apart this chase.
Revis gets a second over after his first went for 5 effectively from the first ball with the 4 on the wide, but managed to grab things back well since then. So there's action elsewhere in the North Group today. Leicestershire, of course, in action here against Yorkshire. Nottinghamshire posting 166 for 8 against Durham at Chester Street. Notts top ahead of Yorkshire by 2 points. Durham in the middle of the pack. Ramped by Cox, exactly as Logan van Beek had predicted we'd get soon. Just using the pace of Revis, and he gets 4.
I believe that was a slow ball from Revis as well. So he's done really well there. Cox has stayed low in position, almost used his wrist just to make sure it got over Johnny Bairstow. Yeah, smart batting. He knows the length has to be into the wicket with 4 out on the leg side, so can almost predict where Revis is going to bowl and make that shot a lot easier, as Hassan Ali is now directing Jaffa Chan down at fine leg to be a lot finer, so there is now a gap between deep square and fine leg, which stretches quite a distance.
He's looking to get this into that gap, and he has, Cox. They'll get a comfortable 2. That was the first boundary in 13 balls, which in the context of a high-scoring T20 game is a bit of an age, in truth.
How many times do you see that fielder moves, ball goes straight to where he was, and then extra runs conceded? So good batting from Cox, just starting to kick on slightly. He'll need to keep kicking on if Leicester have a chance to knock this off, but it's a good start to the over. 7 from the first 3 balls.
Short, and Chahan moving across means that he can stop this one. And Chahan was where he'd been at the start of the over. It would have been 4, but it is instead just 1. There was a quote from Moeen Ali, actually, about Friday's run chase for Yorkshire that I think kind of applies to how Cox has approached this for Leicestershire, which is the difference in chasing 208 to, say, 230. Moeen said, if someone gets 230, I can't start the way I started. I have to go after 2 or 3 balls. I have to take risks earlier in my innings. At least with the start that we had, I could take my time a bit because Bairstow was going so well. It's a big difference as Hassan Ali going back, can't take it. It would have been an exceptional catch, very, very difficult. He ended up airborne as the ball came towards him, trying to get it over his shoulder. Even by modern fielding standards, if he takes that, we're watching it a million times over and over again.
Yeah, firstly, nice shot from Ben Green. Over pitch from Matty Revis, mid-off in the ring. Simple decision to go over mid-off, but yeah, as you say, didn't quite know whether to turn his body, stay facing, and when you're in between, it's very hard to track the ball in the last few feet, and unfortunately evades him.
Steps away, a bit of a tennis cross-court forehand from Ben Green. Once upon a time, England under-19 World Cup international, way back in 2016, the same year he made his senior debut. A decade on, trying to take Leicestershire home. One of our more simple polls, I think. I'm not too surprised that thus far it's just been a straightforward 100% on this one.
Scanned that myself. Won't mind a brand new car. From very generous sponsors of Vertu. Done a lot for Yorkshire County Cricket Club in this last couple of years of the partnership.
Yep, bringing you live, free-to-watch cricket across the world. Every Yorkshire men's and women's home game. Of course, White Rose have a double header next Friday away against Lancashire at Old Trafford. We'll have another Vertu live stream next Sunday the 12th, as both the men and the women face Nottinghamshire. Of course, they're known as Blaze in the women's format. Chahan starts a new over that's just given as a wide. Chahan letting it be known that he didn't quite agree with the call, let's say.
Yeah, it's very hard to judge when the batter leaves it. Is the umpire more inclined to give it a wide? I'm not sure. I'm speaking as a batter, so probably was a wide from my eyes up here. Okay, that one definitely is a wide.
That one is a wide. If Yorkshire win today and Nottinghamshire lose against Durham, Yorkshire take top spot. The game between Notts and Durham started an hour later than this one, so we won't know the result of that one until a little after we're done. But if Yorkshire do win this game, then they certainly consolidate their position in that top 2.
There's a definite clear plan here from Jaffa Chahan. Going wide, and if Ben Green wants to access this short side, he's going to have to really fetch it, which one does increase Ben Green's arc. So, the wider the ball, the freer the arms Ben Green can give, but again, it is further to fetch it towards the short side.
The ground, plenty of power on that. Stopped on the bounce. Yorkshire chasing just a 4th finals day appearance in 23 years. Runners up in 2012 to Hampshire. Losers in the semi-final against Lancashire after beating Surrey by just 1 run thanks to that epic final over from Jordan Thompson in 2022. Leicestershire were one of the kings of T20 at the start, but haven't actually reached a finals day since 2011, so a lot at stake for these two. They fight for a spot in the quarters. Bounce and spin for Jaffa, who is having another good day of it here. He might not have taken the 3 wickets he did on Friday night, but one of the highest scoring T20 grounds in the world, this is exceptional containment. Now poking well above 2 a ball needed for the visitors. To the reverse, and just paddled, the finest of paddles from Cox. Manages to get 4, desperately needed boundary. First boundary in 11 balls.
Yeah, Hassan Ali there at short third man tried to read it and ran towards Adam Lythe at point, but unfortunately it was a fine tickle and it reaches the boundary. But it's been excellent from Jaffa, as you were saying earlier. It's a different role to what he's used to. He's gone for more of a containing job today and allowed AJ to take the majority of the wickets. But we've seen leg spin in both innings being really key.
Similar little bit of execution from Cox. He's always had these in his locker. It's a big part of him helping Worcestershire to being Blast winners back in 2018. So back-to-back boundaries and Trahan under some pressure.
Awesome shot. That is some superb premeditation. He has guessed which ball Jaffa's going to go to absolute perfection. He's gone for the quicker ball, slightly predictable, and Cox has just allowed the ball to hit the bat and gone away for 4 again. Excellent batting.
As this time goes back, takes one hand off the bat, slightly lost control of the shot, and great fielding by Revis out there to get across and keep it to just one. So end of a decent 4 overs from Jaffa Trahan, albeit the last 2 went for 24. Took 4 for 27 against Leicestershire in this fixture last season, which Yorkshire won. And if Yorkshire do win this game, again, the 4 overs he's produced there will be a big part of the story.
So you see, this is what it's all about, the T20 Blast, getting youngsters down watching. A lot of the players in today's game would have been down watching as a young kid, so it's great to see so many youngsters in the crowd on this Sunday afternoon. As we see 5 overs, which I think is going to have some fireworks. AJ Tai brought back into the attack, 3 for 4 from his first 2 overs.
Took that brilliant catch as well. It's been AJ Tai's day so far. Cox nurdling away for 1, just over 12's needed. None for 34 off Trahan's 4 in that middle period.
Which I think in the context is a rather good figure, going at 8.5 and over, which then takes the pressure off the rest of your bowlers. I mean, AJ is going at the modest 2.5 and over, so...
He's been in a whole other game today, AJ Tai. Huge swipe and a miss. Strike 1 at the ball game, if we were at the baseball. Stepping a long way away, Ben Green, but that gives you a sign of what he's thinking. Everybody out on this onside. AJ Tai is saying, look, if you want to hit a 6 over that long boundary, you can go for it. Knuckleball, signals Logan van Beek alongside me in the box. Ball from deep in the hand. Struck him on the shoulder, 1 more. These quick bowls in T20 these days, they speak almost a different language.
Just watch the ball and hit it. I think as a batter, it becomes a lot simpler than being at the top of your mark trying to decide what to do. But no, he's been excellent here, and I think I love this captaincy move from Johnny. It's very easy to give your best bowler on the day the last 2 overs, but you really need to kill the game early, so bringing him on a bit earlier is really key.
That is not a wide. Really smart from AJ Tai. Of course, Yorkshire have got us a local player, best known for an incredible history, particularly in the Big Bash as part of that Imperious Perth Scorchers outfit, the 3rd highest wicket taker in that competition of all time. But his dad's from Middlesbrough and his mum's from Essex near Chelmsford, so that's what's got him over here without being one of Yorkshire's overseas. That's just another single, but it's not enough for Leicestershire, who really needs something and needs something quick.
His variety, and he's not predictable. You just saw there as we had an advance down the wicket, he went wide hole with only 1 person out on the offside, which is really smart at the top of his mark. That is the last place that the batter's going to expect, and then he goes slow ball into the wicket. See how he can finish off his last ball.
It's a near perfect Yorker, and they'll get 1. Tai didn't fancy doing his best impression of some of the Aussies in the World Cup with some football skills onto the stumps. He will be delighted with that. 149 for 5 then. 4 overs left, and suddenly, as it can do in this situation, 1 tight over, that required run rate spirals, and it's now almost 15s.
He's getting a lovely warm reception down there at the lower levels of the Howard Standard. In fact, he carried on his follow-through after his ball and just went all the way down to long on, which probably shows he's in quite good rhythm. As we see again, Hassan Ali being brought on from the Howard Stand end. Johnny Bairstow opting to go for 2 of his premium bowlers in these 16th and 17th overs, possibly opting to kill the game early.
Yeah, you'd think
get your best bowlers on.
You'd think Tai will bowl the 18th and bowl out, and Hassan will bowl the 17th and 19th from this Howard Stand end. And that's just mistimed in front of mid-off. Talked earlier on this week with Moeen Ali on the Beard Before Wicket podcast about growing up copying Waqar Younis, and talked about a year with Azam Mahmood as bowling coach at Pakistan that really sharpened up his game and got him right to that top level, and also the pressure of following in the footsteps of the likes of Wasim and Waqar. That's just in front of third for one. Waqar Younis, of course, best associated with Warwickshire, and Wasim Akram with Lancashire, and Hassan Ali, of course, is now a seasoned veteran of coming over and playing in county cricket, talking about the fact that being a Pakistani fast bowler following in those footsteps brings an immense amount of pressure that you have to learn to handle between the ears, never mind in a technical sense. It's a swipe and a mitt. It will be wided though. 56 to win off 22. A double teapot from Hassan Ali.
Yeah, Middlebrook just been given a few wides towards the Yorkshire bowlers, but Johnny not looking too impressed, but umpire's decision is final. And I do think they were wides, so very fair decision, but there's obviously a clear plan here, wide hole, deep point, deep third man in the game.
Speared into the pads. And again, it's just been a little run of momentum for Yorkshire here of Leicestershire struggling to get what they need.
It's now or never for me, for the Foxes here. They've got to find one big over from somewhere. You know, there's only 9 balls remaining from this short side. So, for the right-handers. So they've got 9 balls here to make the most of this 55-metre boundary.
It should be caught. And is caught. Second wicket of the day for Hassan Ali. And it's the one Yorkshire will be most pleased to get. Ben Cox had looked dangerous for his 47 off 33. 153 for 6.
Again, a change-up, change of pace. Does for Ben Cox. Marion Ali taking the simplest of catches at mid-off and continuing his fine form in the blast here. Hassan Ali has been the absolute spearhead of our attack, bowling tough overs, bowling the first 2 overs of the innings, usually in the last 2. So, been absolutely exceptional this blast and hopefully carrying the momentum as Leicester bring out Liam Travascus, left-hander. As we mentioned earlier in Yorkshire's innings when AJ Tye came out, right-handed batter ahead of the left-handed batter Fahim Ashraf, so they had the right-hand, left-hand to make use of this short boundary. So whether he'd abide here, sit at 8 or not, I'm not sure. But good news for Leicester is they have a left-hand, right-hand, but they need to go pretty soon.
Leicestershire will be sick of the sight of Hassan Ali. 4 for 18 in the reverse fixture with the ball, and 2 for 25 here. Of course, Leicestershire won that game by 12 runs, bundling out Yorkshire for 135 after getting 147 for 8. As Travascus is left poking and prodding awkwardly at a ball that is a great delivery in any format.
It's a really good change-up again. You see that actually biting with the surface. We spoke about it pre-game. Johnny opting to bat first on a used wicket, which over the course of the best part of 2.5 hours has started to change. Started to break up slightly and started to favour the bowling side towards these later stages.
And Hassan Ali eyeing the run out to dot ball to finish what is another brilliant over for Yorkshire. At the moment, the momentum of this game is only going really in one direction, 153 for 6. And at this point, Leicestershire need a mini miracle. So at this point, you're asking for real heroics.
Yeah, 55 from 18 deliveries.
AJ Tye bowled a very good third over, but the first ball of his 4th is whacked down the ground. Green making room. Couldn't have hit that much straighter had he tried. Great start for the Foxes.
Yeah, rare miss tonight from AJ Tye. I mean, he's missed it by about an inch, and Ben Green's got them wrists through. As you say, straight as an arrow down the ground for 4. But AJ Tye, 3 for 11 from 13. Nope, can't do maths. 19 deliveries.
That's just poked into the onside. We are going to scamper for 2. So 49 to get off 16. I suspect we're going to again see green, as we did the first 2 of this over, step away and look to that shorter offside. There's only deep point out there.
Yeah, and I think from AJ's point of view, he's got a lot of options with this field. He can go into the pitch slower, as he's actually dropping long off and bringing fine leg up, so the scoop does become an option. However, often going to take pace off the ball with this field, unless it's a double bluff and he goes fast and wide again.
Well, you're watching a genius at work out there with the ball in hand for Yorkshire, and you're watching someone with quite the crystal ball to my left.
It's a nice feeling, that, to be fair. We saw it previously, actually, when Ben Green advanced down the wicket. He was not afraid to go wide hole, so I'm not going to guess what he does here, actually.
Linked. And taken by Hassan Ali, running in. That is a fantastic catch. And the celebration to match as well from the Pakistani showman. Ben Green out for 20 off 19. Yorkshire's outfield work has been exceptional today. It's a 4th wicket for AJ Tai. And Hassan Ali does the rest. 159 for 7.
He is quite the character. Hassan Ali, that is an absolutely extraordinary catch. He has made, I want to say, approximately 30 metres from long off to the edge of the ring. Taken an amazing catch. And almost as if he's been tripped up in the box in football, he's done a massive dive and celebration and warmly embraced by his Yorkshire teammates. But awesome catch, awesome bowling. I mean, what an absolute game AJ Tai's having. And as we said earlier, the 4th highest T20 average T20 score in the world.
Yes, something David Milan actually. Then
Four
Yorkshire
for-
captain said to me at the start of last season.
To take 4 for 13 off 3.4 overs is quite utterly remarkable. You may never see figures like this again, so it's incredible.
Josh Davey Davey will get off and running. 48 to win off 13, so you're not far off the 4 times table at this point. And a reminder of what this would mean were Yorkshire to win. It would be 6 wins, 3 losses and a tie. Yorkshire would go above Nottinghamshire if Nottinghamshire lost to Durham. That game in progress elsewhere in the North Group. Durham 20 without loss after 2 overs, chasing 167 to win. Top 2 gets you guaranteed into the knockouts. Winning a group guarantees a home quarter-final, and the best third placer is also getting a home quarter-final. Tai has Travaskis unable to get near that short boundary. Sensational figures from AJ Tai. It's performances like this that are why Yorkshire were delighted to get their hands on him. 161 for 7 then, with just 2 overs left.
Ruthless is the term that comes to mind for me. AJ Tai and all that experience. He's been part of such a strong and formidable Perth Scorchers team. As we see, who is your Vertu player of the match? And it's no surprise to see Adam Lyth getting the votes of the minute, ably supported by AJ Tai. I think if someone takes 4 for 15 in a T20, it's going to be hard to beat, but I think Adam Lyth might just pip him.
This could be caught as well. Should be caught. Is caught by Luxton. Hassan Ali has a third, 161 for 8. And it seems now Yorkshire are romping to victory.
Will Luxton with a simple catch in front of the Western Terrace. He's not going to drop many of them. Very casual, very nonchalant then. But yeah, I mean, the performance from Adam Lyth in the first half and the AJ Tai in the second, though, that experience in T20 cricket, 2 experienced campaigners with, you know, incredible careers up to this point, and I'm sure they're going to go on and do many more things over the next couple of years for Yorkshire as well. It's an exciting time as Alex Green is brought to the crease, and I think we spoke about momentum, but you can sort of get a momentum throughout a tournament as well, and it feels like this year Yorkshire have been on a roll.
It's Hassan Ali's 19th wicket in the Blast this season, and this is 10th game.
Wow.
It's an exceptional return.
It's incredible.
They'll be eyeing more here. And he's got another one. There you go. Make it 20 wickets in the Blast this season for Hassan Ali. He's on a hat-trick, and he walks away with a nonchalance as if to say, yep, a postman doesn't celebrate when he delivers the post. He's on a hat-trick ball. I think we'll get a celebration if he completes the treble.
On a hat-trick, nearly on a 5-foot. Absolutely incredible. Him and AJ tie there, high-fiving as if, yep, this second half has been ours. Outstanding from the new recruits. That experience that we've spoke about all campaign coming into fruition. Full and straight, thank you very much. Off stump, see you later. I don't think he'll change much of the direction for this delivery on hat-trick, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, you sense the furniture of Josh Hull
Could be in danger.
Might be endangered, yeah. It might, like when you see them at the skip about to get crushed and recycled.
Now this would be somewhere to finish the game.
That's what the crowd want to see. There's 2 slips in place. Live coming into first, slip Whiteman at second. Hassan Ali on a 5-foot.
Over to you, Michael McCann.
4 for 18 in the away game against Leicestershire. And Hassan Ali, the showman that he is, whipping the crowd up. He's already got 8 wickets against the Foxes this season. My goodness me, they're sick of the sight of him. Can he finish it off against Josh Hull? Well, there's LBW appeals, but from right arm around, it's an ambitious shout. He's still got 3 balls, though, to have a crack at it. Hassan Ali.
And he just moved Middlebrook's hand and put his finger up. That is incredible. Anyone else? Anyone else? I don't think he'd get away with that.
It's very Hassan Ali, isn't it? Very on brand. Geeing the crowd up again. 3 wickets and 4 balls doesn't sound bad, and it wasn't far away from being exactly that. He's pumped up here. Eyeing that Yorker.
It's just incredible. You see someone in complete full flight, someone at the peak of his powers. 20 wickets in just 10 games is absolutely exceptional. The strike rate of that is exactly what you want from your premium overseas fast bowler.
He's talked about many of his best memories coming on English soil, including the Champions Trophy win for Pakistan. This could be another. Not quite there. It's another dot. Of course, he made his A-Tour debut for Pakistan here, and he made his limited overs full debut here in England as well after a game in Ireland was washed out. And he's, of course, had so much success over the years in the Blast too. He's got 1 ball left for his 5-foot to finish the game in style for Yorkshire. It's Hassan Ali's world, and we're all just living in it. Oh, and it was so close. And you can see from his reaction, he knows it, Bairstow knows it. He's slumped on the turf. But the wry grin tells you that he knows he can be ever so proud of his work. Ty and Ali between them have absolutely demolished Leicestershire here. They've taken 8 wickets between them at the cost of just 40 runs in 8 overs. And that is the reason why, having been a real seesawing contest, Yorkshire are going to end up winning this game comfortably.
Yeah, it's been a curious game of cricket, really. It's ebbed and flowed. Rishi Patel started with such a strong start for Leicester, and then the introduction of AJ Ty broke that. And since then, it has been the flurry of wickets.
Matthew Ellis to bowl the final over, 47 to win, an unlikely number if you can do your 6 times tables reasonably well.
Keep your foot behind the line, please, Matty. Of course, that is the only way that Leicester have a chance, but
Yorkshire getting revenge, it seems almost certainly now, for lost by 12 runs in the reverse fixture. Leicestershire did the double over Yorkshire in 2024. They won by 20 runs here and 106 runs Yorkshire won by in 2025 when doing the double over the Foxes. This year it's going to be split 1-1. I think we can say now, as Revis drops a catch that would have won the game.
I think he's got a laugh and a laugh on his face at the minute, but I don't think he'd be laughing if the game was on the line. But
yeah, I think you can sense it's
a bit of a jovial atmosphere out there, which is really lovely to see. Crowd getting right behind every ball here.
Well, if you as Revis can't have fun in these moments, when can you? 46 to win off 4. It's not quite to Hassan Ali in terms of a catching chance. Another chapter in these sides' T20 history. They first met in 2003. Feels like another universe ago. Yuvraj Singh got 71 for Yorkshire. Brad Hodge, 97 for Leicestershire. The likes of Brezhnev, side bottom, Stephen Fleming, Verinder Sehwag, Gavin Hamilton all playing in that game. And Leicestershire won by 10 runs in the first T20 here in 2004. And it's not Leicestershire will be winning this one. It could be a run out. Oh, a direct hit. That would have been very, very tight. They scamper through for a consolation single. So just the 2 balls left. Revis wanting another wicket to have the satisfaction of bowling Leicestershire out. Be a big net run rate boost for Yorkshire as well, which will be handy for the White Rose. Leicestershire will be all but out. Single for Hull. Yorkshire, of course, next in action in the Roses doubleheader, men and women against Lancashire next Friday, and then both Blaze and Nottinghamshire. Blaze, of course, will change name to Nottinghamshire next season, are here at Headingley for another Vertu live stream on the 12th of July. Quarter-finals on the 15th of July. Last finals down the 18th at Edgbaston. Dashed away out to deep square leg. It's just a single. Yorkshire will win this game by 41 runs. It's back-to-back wins for Yorkshire in the Blast. And it consolidates Yorkshire's position in top 2 of the North Group. If Nottinghamshire lose to Durham, Yorkshire will be top tonight. And the man in shot there, Adam Live, with this incredible 131 not out, is the big reason why Yorkshire got themselves in such a dominant position. But then Hassan Ali with 4 for 25 and AJ Ty with 4 for 15. Between them taking 8 for 40 mean the Foxes fall well short.
The man on the screen there, Adam Live, I'm sure he'll be getting a warm reception as he walks off the field, getting congratulated by his teammates, and them three there have been the key. AJ Ty, Hassan Ali and Adam Live, the experience that all three possess. Adam Live with well over 220 appearances in the format, AJ Ty over 250 and Hassan Ali over 240, so over 700 T20 appearances between them, and they've shown why it's been such a great get to get AJ and Hassan for the services of Yorkshire, and Adam Live, who's been doing it for 20 years in all formats. So Yorkshire, comfortable victory in the end against a Leicester team who now going to need a miracle to get through to the later stages. We see Adam telling Johnny to get off there. Adam Live, star of the show, second 100 in the T20 format for the county. It's been truly exceptional. We are hopefully going to hear a bit more from him as Michael is soon to interview Adam live. So that is all from me. Now Clay in the commentary box. Thank you and have a lovely evening.
So what a fantastic day for Yorkshire. 2 wins in 3 days. I'm delighted to have one of the men alongside me. Hassan Ali, Hassan Wyatt. That was fantastic. As a team, looks like an ultimate team performance, as usual, the showman that you are.
Yeah, lovely Sunday for the Yorkshire fans. I think brilliant team efforts, especially from the batting side. I think when he showed his class and his from the players, their cameo, and when we came back in the bowling, I think it was a good power play, but yeah, some wickets, and then when he might have come from us, and I think it's a good team effort, and the boys did a great job.
And you talked on the Before Wicket podcast about you're not angry, but passionate, in the zone of the contest. Talk us through the emotions there. The crowd were up, you were on the hat trick, steaming in.
I always say we are entertainer, and I think that's how we entertain the people, and that's the best time to connect with the Yorkshire fans, and I think if we have lovely fans here, whenever you play here, there's always support from the Yorkshire fans. I think it's a brilliant keep connecting with the fans, because they all the time comes and support your favorite players. So it's always fun.
I've got to ask you, the hat-trick ball, there was no LBW. You passed on by Headingley, and you sort of grab his finger and try and raise it, she gives the decision.
I was like, I bowled by didn't do the target, but I did a pretty good raise your finger. But yeah, it was part of the job. Yeah, lovely game.
And so now, Yorkshire need just one win from their last 2 games to guarantee a spot in the knockouts. With both those games to win the group and guarantee a home quarter-final here at Headingley. You must be really pleased where the team are in the competition.
Exactly. I think from the start we are starting, and I think there's a little bit ups and downs, but boys always come hard, especially from the seniors player like Headingley, Joey Presto, Moinani, myself, and AJ. So they're all always there to meet the teams, and we're looking for the quarter-final. So that's it.
What's it been like for you bonding with not just fans through your showmanship, but also through players? You've been teammates, obviously you played with the likes of Ali before, but a lot of guys who you might be the best that you might play against. What's it like being in this Yorkshire camp?
It's been lovely. Before that, we always played against each other, but it's lovely being here with the most senior players. And me and Moin's been 3 months we are together. We haven't want to see each other. But yeah, it's been amazing. I know a couple of boys who are very close to me, long bats. As I said, it's always play against me. But
playing together, we have
Fahim from the Pakistan. So lovely boys there.
Just finally, next up is the one that Yorkshire fans always bring in their calendar, the Roses match. You gave Lancashire a big meeting in the game here. How much confidence do you take from that when travelling to Old Trafford and a hostile crowd next Friday?
Well, I'm not going to say so confident, but yeah, we have great momentum. We have done so good in bowling, batting, fielding, so we will take that momentum Old Trafford, and we will try to play some good cricket there.
So much, Hassan. Pleasure to watch you now.
Thank you so much.
Well, that is Hassan Ali, one of your stars of the day for Yorkshire. 4 for 25, 4 for 15 from AJ Ty, and Adam Lyde on the 131 knocked out the key performers. 2 wins in 3 days for Yorkshire. Victory in their last 2 will guarantee top spot in the North Group. 1 win from 2 will guarantee a place in the knockouts. Thank you to all of you for your company. But for now, that's goodbye.